Welcome to BMX Race Hub. We're live for the second part of the first round of the National Series, the Lloyds National BMX Series. So let's get on with it.
Okay, riders, random start. Riders ready? Watch the gate.
Well, it's great to be back, and first of all, thanks to those who support the channel, everyone who supports the channel, particularly British Cycling and NXT Sportswear. So here we are, we're at the indoor. It's famous for not having weather. That means when it starts to warm up, it really gets quite warm. There's no airflow over the riders, very harsh environment, you've heard me say that before. A very hard surface on the track as well, but you can probably see behind me, dust. It's quite dusty now, and I know the commentators and all the volunteers are all getting quite a dusting here. So anyway, really looking forward to racing. Let's take a brief look at what happened last year. Welcome to the 2024 BMX National Series. The action's just about to start on track. We're here with Beth Shriver, winner of today's Women Elite. How'd it go today?
Yeah, really well. Trying to get some laps in before we go to the test event in Paris. Still working on a few things, hence why my starts haven't been, but yeah, it's work in progress, feeling good. And yeah, it's just great to get in the mix with the young girls again.
Welcome to BMX Race Hub, Cyclo Park for rounds 3 and 4 of the National Series. Bit windy, bit tricky today, but that was a good lap.
Yeah, I definitely brushed up on yesterday's mistakes and put together quite a nice lap, I think. So yeah, definitely was a lot better than yesterday.
Welcome to rounds 5 and 6 of the National Series here at Cumbernauld in Scotland. Okay, here with SJ, Sarah Jane Nichols, almost fresh back from the World Championships. It was a few weeks ago now, but obviously it went quite well, I guess.
Yeah, exactly. I mean, I was more than happy. I was happy to have just made the final, to be quite truthful. That was my goal, was to, I mean, for everyone's goal is to try and make a world final, but to actually get in the final and then, I don't know if you can see I got the finish second in the World Championships was quite incredible, more than I could have ever dreamed of at this stage.
Here with Superclass winner today, Jos Marnum. Yeah. Really good. Well, it looked like a really good lap. I know you weren't happy with it.
Yeah, I mean, it was an okay lap. I didn't have the best gate. Like, I wheelied to the bottom of the start hill, and Kyle got a really good one. And I thought he had the lead. Like, he was ahead of me, and then I think he made a mistake going over the trip onto the corner, and it just allowed me to go through. And then I feel like I kept it clean and I was safe out front. So yeah, it was an okay lap.
Welcome to rounds 7 and 8 of the BMX National Series here in Platt Fields. Here with Jimmy Criddle, back with a bang.
Yeah, well, I went to Zolder and fell off in Zolder, didn't I? In the quarter on those turns, so I got concussed off that. So I couldn't race cyclo parks. That put me out of the national title. So then it was off for exams, studying, missed Cumbernauld, was it?
Yeah.
Didn't race the Euros or Worlds, so that was a bummer. Really annoyed about that, but just glad to be back now. Injury-free, exams-free, and yeah, racing again. It's buzzing, it's great. And the atmosphere is crazy, honestly. Crowd goes mental.
Welcome to rounds 9 and 10 of the National Series here in Birmingham. Here with Championship Women winner today, Sienna. So some moves.
Yeah, well, I was in gate 1, had an alright start, but I took a pretty good line in the first turn and managed to come out in first, which I was like, whoa, but yeah, no, really happy with that.
Welcome to the British Championships here at Derby. Ross back from Paris. Yeah, how did that go? How was that?
Yeah, it's a good experience. I mean, the Olympic Games is super special, and to be at my second Games was really cool. I can't lie, I would have loved to be on the start line, and it was an itch I couldn't scratch. But it's lit a fire in the stomach for LA. So I think the 4 years will go like that, and I'm going to be ready for it.
Well, that is a wrap on the 2024 British BMX Championships at Derby, bringing a draw this year to the whole series as well. So yeah, it's been a very busy year, but a really positive year, lots of great racing on track, and we're looking forward to seeing you in 2025. All right, well, that was the highlights from last year. So I'm here with Rich Eames. I don't know about highlights from last year. There were some highlights from this morning as well.
There was definitely some highlights from this morning. Some cracking racing to start the season off in block number 1. And one of the premonitions I had almost came true pretty much. There was a couple of riders who, overdid it a little bit. First race of the season, ended up going down in a heap. And, there's a couple of riders I've heard about whose seasons are pretty much over already before we've even started. And I think that's the key with this track. You cannot override it because it will bite you immediately, and that's already been demonstrated this morning. I think the trick is ride the track well, but get out in one piece.
Yeah, percentage game. It's a harsh environment. I know certainly the older gentlemen, they like to go away unscathed where they can because it's a long season, like you say. But some of the younger ones were really flying, weren't they?
Yeah, they certainly were. Kids like Archie Bell, Isaac Smith, Benny Jackson, the names that we see in the National Series all the time. But you can see in every age group that the level has actually risen. It's fantastic to watch.
Yeah, I mean, the jump behind us is a sort of jump for the used to be sort of 12s, 13s, and now it's 11s.
Yeah. totally. Kids are doing it younger and younger. They're getting faster. They're getting more skilled. But that's down to the level of coaching that we're now getting in this country. We've got some really talented coaches to bring these kids on, and we're seeing the fruits of our labour. I mean, we've got a few more years before, you know, we're at the level of like the French or anything like that. But certainly, you know, the seeds have been planted and they're starting to bear fruit.
It feels really good, I must say, the whole kind of momentum, like you say. And of course, today we've got, well, I'm going to say stacked juniors and seniors in the championship categories. It's brilliant.
Yeah, you look at kids like James Clitheroe, who's coming into junior men at 15. You know, I've watched him train through the winter. He's absolutely flying, you know, and he's 15 years old. And, you know, like I said, the future is bright for British BMX.
Yeah, well, without any further ado, I think we're maybe a couple of minutes away from kicking off the racing, maybe a few more than that. But we'll hand over now to comms and the live stream. So yeah, let's get on with the racing.
Check your phones. Make sure your riders are where they need to be when they need to be there. We're at the older end of the equation now. Everybody's capable of being in the right pen at the right time. Let's get riders in the pens, please. ASAP, riders in the pens. We want to get this show on the road. We're already 7 minutes behind schedule. I don't like being behind schedule. I want to go home for my tea. Right, we're nearly ready to go. We've had some transponder issues with various riders. That's what's held everything up. The amount of people who I've spoken to who've had to replace transponders in the last 2 weeks has been ridiculous, including ourselves. Right, well, I've got the opportunity. Don't forget our retail partners here at rounds 1 and 2 of the British Cycling BMX National Series. On the mezzanine floor upstairs, we have Enfuse Sports. For all your sports nutrition needs, energy gels, electrolyte powders, protein powders, carb products, you name it. If you want energy, Enfuse are the guys to see. They are upstairs on the mezzanine floor. They're doing sample packs, taster boxes, bit of everything in there. And I think they're like sub 20 quid. So they're definitely worth a punt. It'll help you out through a race weekend. Go and see our friends at Enfuse Sports Nutrition. BMX are owned and operated by the Fawcett family. So if you're going to buy some energy drinks, give them a little bit of a support, because all their hard work ends up coming back into the sport anyway, which is fab. And then when you nip downstairs, you've got B73 tees for all your National Series merchandise, hoodies, t-shirts, hats, etc. If you need parts and accessories, DC Cycles, Green Machine, Crucial BMX, everything you could possibly desire to build yourself a nice new bike or get those blingy parts, go and see them. And then when you've made your purchases, take them over to Rich at Pure Bicycles. Rich, the bike mechanic. He will fit them for you. He is the mechanic to the stars. Nick Kimmons, Simon Marquardt, Zoe Claessens. He's looked after a lot of top riders at Olympic level and World Cup level. If they trust him, so should you. Go and see Rich at Pure Bicycles. And then after that, if you want some nice new fresh gear from Troy Lee, new helmets, new race kit, etc., Andy at Sorted will be the guy to sort you out. They've got Fox as well. And if you work up a hunger after all that, nip and see the Jumeirahs in the cafe for some food delectable goodness. Those are our retail partners here, rounds 1 and 2. The British Cycling BMX National Series. We are ready to go. Block 2, day 1. Here at the National Cycling Centre in Manchester. Right, we are going Moto 1, block number 2. The 13-year-olds heading down the straight towards turn number 1. Max McNulty getting himself in there early doors. Doing it for Nottingham BMX. George Jackson, Bodie Markley in this one as well. The 31, that is Bodie Markley in there in that third spot. The 32 belonging to Jordan Ajibade, but McNulty battling away, scrapping with the 20 plate of Charlie Craig out of Manchester. Charlie Bob has just got so much faster this winter. Absolutely flying. He's going to take that first moto win. Is he? Big battle with McNulty to the line. Not sure who got it. Moto number 2. Fox Cooper, Rogers, Hoff, Dolan, Ford, Howell, Josh Lewis and Roland Dells in this one. Mabo leading it out at the minute. That's going to be Ethan Rogers in that gold black and white kit. Looking super smooth as they come out of the turn. The 40 plate though is Roland Dells out in front, out of Derby BMX Club. The 56 out of Bruntwood's national race team, that is Xavi Fox Cooper. So Derby are going to take the win. Rogers, Birmingham BMX Club in there in 2. Moto 3, Harry Holmes, Stanley Farmer, Adam Arnold, Harry Tyers, Kamiri Brooks, Fifield, Bence Thibaut Kiss and Henry Potts. On an absolute mission. Moto 1, that is Harry Tyers. Absolutely flying, this young man. Potts is in there in 2. That looks like a Peckham jersey in there in 3. That's going to be Bence Thibaut Kiss. Harry Holmes on the 449, doing it for Braintree, and Stanley Farmer going through inside the top 4 as well. Right, if Casey can hear us, can we have some more batteries, please, for the microphones? If Casey can hear us. That is Jack Perkins out in front at the moment. Got Riley Butt in there for Absolute Bicycle Motocross as well. Ryder going through in that second position on the 10 is Thomas Honeywell. Green Machine Tribe in and out that final corner. Decoy Riders getting involved, including Ralph Sowerby. But it's Mabel going across the line out in front, Jack Perkins. There's some coming. Right. Batteries are on the way. We'll share a microphone for the time being. Frankie Griffin, Lawrence Bojang, Evan Davey, James Miller, Dylan Spence, Oliver Arnold and Kurt Storkis. Race number 5. And it is the GT rider out in front. That is going to be James Miller. Where is Dylan Spence? He's in that 4th spot at the minute. Inside the top 4 is good enough to start with. 52 heading down that straight. That's going to be Kurt Storkis. I think he's a member of the Irish Connection. Chasing Miller down that final straight. Just trying to pick up the 3. That looked like the 5.73 of Frankie Griffin. Race 6, Corey Stone, Louis Kacharik. My mate Sullivan Collis in this one. Ethan Crooks, Martin Gilmore Green, Josh Jepson, Joshua Furley and Jamie Turblanche. It is the hotshot rider out there in 1. Ethan Crooks Martin at the moment. Josh Jepson going through in 3. Chasing down Sullivan Collis. Sullivan was saying to me earlier on he's looking forward to having a good start to the season. I'm sure that will be the case, Sullivan. So, Crooks Martin, Collis, Jepson, that is your 1, 2, 3 as they head towards the line. Race 7, Martha Cotton, Dakota Tucker in this one. Anushka Jones, Ruby Warren and Isabella Gerard, Esme Ward and Molly Fumey Carroll. The A plates, that is Anushka Jones, Jump Club S&M Sauce. In those gold and black jerseys, looking really good. Ruby Warren out in front at the moment. Stay Strong's Esme Ward in there in that 2nd spot. Martha Cotton in 3. Hard Knocks pushing hard, that's Bella Gerard. In that new red and black Hard Knocks kit. As they go across the line, Ruby Warren taking the win. Race 7, 8 even. Georgia Surtees, Amara Fife. Clara Salmon, Nair O'Connell, Emma Kiss, Holly Diver and Nora Sirott. Dad's been busy with the BMX Race Hub stuff. Nora's holding it down on track. That is Nair O'Connell in 3. As they head towards that final corner, in and out they go. It is the 3 plates of Emma Kiss out of Braintree. He's going to take it to the line. Diver's going to get the 2. O'Connell's going to get the 3. Onto the 14s. Big class this one, 47 riders. Miller, Millington, Benning, Shaw, Anthony, Lawrence, Walwork and Mattern Alonso. Elvis Lawrence, tech as you like, pedalling over that step up, step down triple. He's in there in 1, Shaw in 2, Mattern Alonso in 3. Bit of a gap to the 22. Going through in 4, that's going to be Edward Miller out of Preston. But the front 3 looking good. Elvis Lawrence taking that moto win. Race 10, Richard Smith, Notman, Osborne, Schmel, Beerup, Lynch and Harrison Barnes. This one is already stacked. Looks like the Birmingham National Race Team. Heath Osborne out in front. Toby Lynch doing it for Sorted Race Gear in that new Troy Lee kit. He's in there in 2, Todd Smith, Notman in 3. Dexter Beerup in 4 and the 17 going through in 5. That's going to be Ronnie Richards doing it for Fast Signatures. Riley Schmel in there as well. As we move on to race 11, Taylor, Ray, Westmore, Westwood, Borrachini, Moore, Hindley and Zach Childs. It is Newton Hindley out in front. He's in there in 1, Westmore in 2. East Anglia rider going through in 3. That's going to be Zach Childs, I think. This one pretty even. Newton Hindley out in front though with Westmore chasing him down. As they go in and out of the final corner, it's going to be Hindley and Westmore and Childs, you 1, 2, 3. Race 12, Millington, Parkinson, Bailey, Rollison, Harrison, Colliger, Noah Buttery, good to see him back on. Took a bit of a tumble down at mid-lengths. Oh, Logan exits the wrong side. Looks like Harry Bailey's out in front though. At the minute, Freddie Parkinson in there in 2. Kolzic in 3 and Millington in 4.
Race 13 hits the track. That's Eames on the inside, headed for turn number 1. Who's going to pick up the whole shot? Looking like Harry Donald's in the mix. The 2 plate of Ned Guppy leads it out. The 5 in there behind him, that's got to be Nate Hamilton, Mabo UK. One rider slips his pedal, I think that was Harry Donald. So he's at about 6 at the moment, so that's Eames in there in 3. Guppy leads it, looking good into the final turn. Hamilton, Eames 2 and 3. Who's in 4? Looking like that could be Maxwell Lawrence out of Braintree, but that's going to be your top 4 down to the line. Race 14 on track. These are your 14-year-olds heading into that first corner. Got to be the E2, Kobe Rayford, as smooth as you like. One of my favourite BMXers of all time. Stay strong, Clark and Kent out front. Who's in there with him? Got to be Rab Racing coming on through. That is Little Cotty picking it up as they come out of that final corner. Team here inside the top 3. Got to be Oscar Jewell on the 61 plates. Over to the 14-year-old girls, and they are on track into turn number 1. Looking like Katie Millar, your national champ from last year for Moto 1 race team, is leading this one out. The 6 plate in there behind her, that is Sidoni Cleve out of Fluent Bicycle Motocross. That's your front 2 then, as they go in and out of turn number 2. Crucial Racing in the mix inside the top 3. Bringing it through, that is Libby Copping, being chased down by the 7 and the 9. That is Matilda Saharev and Maddie the Baddy Dixon for Urban Air BMX, but your moto winner is going to be Katie Millar for Moto 1. Second rack of the 14-year-old girls, Eaton Rowe, Muhar, Patel and Giannolino. Where is Rin Giannolino? She's in there in that 3 spot at the moment, doing it for Evolve Collective, chasing down the front 2 riders. It is Sorted Race Gear, leading it out though. Isabella Rowe on the template, being chased down by the 0-1 of Amelie Eaton for Pro Star BMX. In and out of that final corner, Sorted, Pro Star, Evolve, 1, 2, 3. Who's going to take the 4? That is Jalala Patel with Anastasia Muhar in 5. 15-year-old boys hit the track. Race number 17, Gould Ritchie, Bradford Franklin, Asher, Davey and McCrum. Where's Cooper McCrum? He's inside the top 4 as he head into that second corner. Out on track, we're looking at Jack Davey. He's your race leader. Heading down the final straight. Race 18 hits the track. That looks like Birmingham NRT on the inside. Got to be Lucas Osborne slotting himself into that second spot. But it is the 13 leading this one out. Of course, that is Oliver James, Fluent Bicycle Motocross. That looks like Logan Widdowson in there at about 5 at the moment. The 7 in there in 3. Bringing it down, that is Bradley James being chased down by the Warm BMX race teams, Eden Boone. So that's going to be your front 4 as they bring it down. James is going to be your moto winner with Osborne in behind him in 2. More 15-year-old action on track. That is the 36 plate leading this one out. Louis Avery heading into that second corner, being chased down by Green Machines. Ollie Kirby on the 29 plate, looking like the 31 is inside the top 3. David O'Brien-Meyer heading into that final corner, inside that top 3 spot. Then in and out they go. 68 of Zach Harvey, he's going to round out the top 4 spots. Green Machine with a late ditch on the line. Kirby nicked that moto win. Tidy S is on track, the 11 plate doing it for Factory Supercross, heading into that second turn. A former world number 2 finalist. He's out on track at the moment, leading out this moto. Looks like we've got the 24 in there as well. That is Alex Dunkley out of Evolve Collective. He's inside the top 3, chasing down the BMX with a photography rider. That is Eric McSwitty. Rab Racing got 2 riders on track in race number 21. One of them is Elijah Jamira, and the other looks to be Lucas Seeley leading out of the race, who's splitting them up as they go through in 1 and 3. That looks like it could be the 8 plate of Harvey Tomlinson out of Peckham, heading into that final turn. So it is Seeley, out front. Tomlinson, Jamira, that's your 1, 2, 3. Emmy Seawood, your world at number 3, in there in 4. Race 22, Entwistle, Guppy, Hall, Chaplin, Cranage and Lloyd. LVG race team in this one. Inside the top 3, that's Will Chaplin. Chasing down your front 2 leaders. That is the 5 plate being chased down by the 12, Amos Guppy and Freddie Entwistle out of Absolute and Birmingham NRT. Them 2 guys are going to go 1 and 2 with Chaplin rounding out them top 3 spots. 15-year-old girls are now on track. Ola Cooper's in this one. Where is she? She's in that 3rd spot at the moment. Chasing down the 804 plate. of Summer Glynn, heading for that second corner. Looking like we've got the E4 of Lottie Brown. Absolute bicycle motocross running away with this moto at the moment in race number 23. The template is in there as well. That's Atana Price out of Peckham BMX. The front four looking good and safe in and out of that final corner. The 146 of Lucia Matthews Diaz, she's in there in 5. Being chased down the final straight by the 14 of Macy Richardson from CGR. Race 24 on track. BMX with a photography, Ailey Watson. On the 3 plate, being chased down by the 4 of Grace Burge, doing it for Green Machine. That's the 13 plate in 3. Eliza French doing it for BRE Racing. Look at Team Mine making moves in the last turn. That's Lucy Gardner working her way from 4 to 3. She's going to pick up a podium finish across the line.
Race 25, here we go. McCallum, Coppin, Townsend, Strong, Collins, Nimmo, Blaine and O'Reilly in this one. Kai Blaine in there in about 4th at the moment, but the 15 out in front, that belongs to Samson Townsend, being chased down by the 16 and the 149, Malachi O'Reilly, and the 16 of Ollie Coppin. Spends all his time at Cardiff, racing and riding that track. Skills to burn that young man. No, where are we up to? Sean Brown leading out moto number 26. John O'Harradine in there as well, doing it for all the single ladies. The 34 is Thomas Kay out of Manchester in the mix as well. Sam Millington, Jack de Jong and William Alfie Harrison still pushing hard. Keep it going, William, we see you, buddy. Keep putting in that hard work. It's going to be Sean Brown, Harradine and the Manchester rider Kay taking it to the stripe in moto number 26. 27 is Yamamoto, Everly, Bowen, Bradshaw, Stanbury, Vicunius, Davison, Zachary Tier in this one as well. Looks like Kai Bowen on that W5 out in front, being chased down by Noah Everly out of Maybo, UK. These two boys out in front by about 5 or 6 bike lengths now. Over the rider on the 461, which is Stanbury. They're going to go 1 and 2. Getting ever faster every single year. 28. Mukar, Oliver Mukar, Caden Dunn, Angus Graham. Good to see Caden back on track when he's not playing rugby at Wigan Warriors. Nathan Barata, Eli Smith, Alex Mackey, Henry Rayner, all in the mix in this one. Eli Smith taking it down the straight. He's going to go through to the line. Caden's going to get that 2. Not sure who picks up the 3. It was Nathan Barata. Race 29, Bethany Coates, Lottie Marnie, Lucy Groundwater, Anya, Mattern, Alonso, Eleanor Curtis and Amelia, the real deal. Everly doing it for Maybo UK, she's in there in 2. Anya Mattern, Alonso chasing her down. Pro Starts, Lottie Marnie had a great weekend out in Verona. We've got the Belfast BMX rider Lucy Groundwater, she's in there in that 5th spot. Putting the work out there in Belfast. Love the BC BMX guys. They've very kindly given me a jersey, which I absolutely love. As we move on, 16s, Alexis McCartney in there in 3. Alexis's birthday apparently yesterday. Turning 16 years old, so happy birthday for yesterday, Alexis. We have got Sophie Elwood out in front. That's going to be Imogen Cockrell in there in 2, Alexis in 3. Smiley Maloney going through in 4 and Charlotte Stanley in 5. Ruby Moores leading out moto number 31. We've got Isla Radcliffe in there as well. She's on her 2nd race of the day. She was on the cruiser this morning. She wins the Iron Lady Award for putting in the work. It looks like Ruby Moores is going to take it to the line. Closely followed in by Jumping Jess Marriott. As we move on to the 17-18s, Brooke, Burgess, Mallon, Brown, Esselmont, Akalele and Jack Clark as well. We've got Arne Esselmont out there in front, doing it for Stay Strong. Clark and Kent in and out of the corner. Brandon Mallon going through as well. Don't think we've got Kean Brown after his tumble this morning on the cruiser. Let's hope he's okay. Race 33, Dexter Gambe, Rodri Jones, Alex Stokes, George Gerard, Elliot Wilmot, Charlie Granger and Reese Toole. Oh, rider down, not sure who it was, Fast Signatures rider. That was Charlie Granger, Alex Stokes. in his Rebel Racing jersey. All the Evolve guys have worn their old Rebel Racing jerseys, paying tribute to their old teammate Aidan Worden, who we lost earlier in the year. So Aidan taking laps with the Evolved boys today. We will never ever forget Aidan. Holloway, Dyer, Henry, Heath, Muka, Fawcett and Cameron into the first turn we go. Alfie Holloway and Jaden Fawcett going 1 and 2. That is Green Machine and Hard Knocks. Oh, one rider exits the wrong side. That's the 53 of Samuel Muka out of Warsop. His lap is over. Fawcett still chasing down to Holloway in that final turn. Henry's in there in 3. Got Callum Heath from Redditch in there in about that 5th position. But it's going to be Holloway and Fawcett going 1 and 2. Moving on, Che Young, Joshua Simpson, Jacobs, Mark Hugh Reynolds, Zach Green, Sam Hamlin and Josh Williams. BMX Widow Photography. In and out of the turn, one rider hits the deck. Got a feeling that was Mark Hugh Williams. Josh Williams in the inside the top 5, chasing Hamlin down to the line. Romeo Kapai, Devante Malio in this one as well. Tommy Haddleton, Malachi Price, Callum David and Hayden Stone. It's Price out there doing it for Peckham at the moment. Stone's in there into the Braintree rider in 3. That is going to be Callum David. Slight change at the front. Peckham rider just been passed at the line. Moto 37.
17. Are we all good? Bit further. Keep going, keep going. Two, the 1-2. There we go. We're online, right. We are looking at the 17 to 18-year-olds. Just take it down a notch, Case, if you can. These are your women, 17 to 18-year-olds. Megan Gerard out front. She's going to pick up that moto win for Arab Racing. Race 38, Charlton Ayalola. Pritchard, Arthurs, Beard and Higham out front. You are looking at DC Cycles, Mika Pritchard on the template, bringing it on round. Running away with this one. Just a little bit further down, Case, if you can. Just a bit. 19 to 29-year-olds on track. Hard Knocks, Bike. Oh, one rider high sides. That was the 30 plate. Thomas Grieg. He's straight back up to his feet. Put your hands together for Thomas. We are looking at the 3 plate lead in this one through. Ollie Cope, Hard Knocks Bike Coaching. He's going 1 and 2 with Callum Child Maple down the final straight. Cope, Maple, 1 and 2. Just a bit further, Casey, if you can. Just down a little bit. 1, 2. 1, 2. That sounds better. A little bit. Race 40 hits the track. More 19 to 29-year-olds headed for turn number 1. Tyrese Bradshaw, Mabo UK, he's going to pick up the whole shot in and out of that first corner. Who's that in there with him on the 7 plate heading on round? Looks like that could be Jaden Seawood doing it for Stay Strong C&K. Not quite sure what happened there. I think Alfie Backs might have come up short. That left Ben Fitzsimmons to come on through and pick up a top 3 finish. Here we go in and out of that final corner. Moves have come. Looking like Seawood's gone from 2 to 1. Bradshaw, Seawood, 1 and 2 across the line. as we move on to race number 41, heading into that first corner. Look at the moves being made. That is the 19X, gotta be Spencer Gibson. He's worked his way underneath everyone in that first corner. That looks like maybe UK's Dan Kay in the mix at about 4 at the moment. Who's here in 2 and 3? Looking like we've got Finn Clark up the inside with Gibson. Elbows are flying. Clark leads it, then Gibson drops back to 2. Kay's putting pressure on down the final straight. That one was busy. SAS race team going through with 3 and 4. More 19 to 29-year-olds on track, looking like we've got the world number 3, Brindley Savage, out there leading this one out for Crucial Racing. Braintree BMX in there with him, that is Eddie Cannons on the 14. He's being chased down by the 21X of Oscar Maciu Carlo, doing it for Team Mind. In and out of that final corner, it is going to be Crucial Racing's Bryn Savage. He's going to pick up his first moto win of the season.
Right, moving on to the 19 to 29-year-old ladies. Alicia Linscott, Annabelle Townsend, Chloe Tompkins in this one. Our kid, Caitlin Ellis, she's out there in front. Morgan Haslam, Emily Clinch doing it for Evolve Bicycle Motocross. And Remy Godfrey, Stay Strong, Clark and Ken. She's in there in 3. Caitlin's out in front. Let's have a look who's got that 2 spot. It is Annabelle Townsend out of Team Sorted Race Gears. Morgan Haslam inside the top 4. Emily in there in 5. But it's going to be Ellis bringing it to the stripe. Ellis is going to get it. Remy's going to get the 3. Oh, one rider down on that first straight. I've got a feeling that was Amy Willetts hitting the deck. Jamie Elwood in there as well. Who's out front at the moment? We are looking at Absolute Bicycle Motocross's Evie Webster battling with Ellie Featherston in and out of that final corner. Imogen Gibson in there in for Pro Start, taking it across the line for the 3rd. That's going to be Hannah Drew. Izzy Hurry on 2 bikes as well.
1, 2, 1, 2. That's better.
Right, Amy Willets is up and okay, which is lovely to see. She'll be back for the next one. All right, don't forget, we are live on BMX Race Hub on YouTube. Tell your mum, your nan, your auntie, your next door neighbour's dog, your milkman, your postman. We want to know where all the people are watching from around the world. So if you are watching anywhere outside of the UK, drop us a little message in the live chat. Let us know where you're watching from as we move on to the Masters. Martinez battling away. Adam Brazil, I think, in there as well. Sinead Reed Academy. That's Farron Affleck Straker. Been a while since we've seen Farron on track. Good to see him back. Billy Irwin in there in 4, doing it for AlansBMX.com as they go in and out of the final corner. Darren Utley in the mix as well. It's going to be Martinez, Brazil. Farron, Farron got caught out on the final straight. From 3rd to last in the blink of an eye. As somebody else has a roll round on the floor as well. Not sure who that was. The 823 Mark Vries out of Manchester. He's up and okay, which is good. Neil Brunez, Billy Luckhurst, taking it to the stripe. Race 47, Annie Chiziwa, Juan Clements, Claire Albert, Anita Wong, Rebecca Gold, Amanda Headstock. Amanda's already had a decent performance on the cruiser this morning. She's looking to repeat it again on the 20-inch, as did Becca Gold and Nita as well. So these ladies are all on 2 bikes and crushing it. So Rebecca Gold, Absolute Bicycle Motocross out in front, Anita in 2, Amanda in 3, Coach Chizzy in 4. That looks like Juan Clements in 5, Claire Albert in 6. As they take it to the line, it's going to be Becca, Nita, Amanda in that order. Right, hold on to your hats, people. It's the veterans. Scott Beaumont, BeaumontRacing.com, out there in front. Always looking super pro. He's in there in 1, Danny Taylor, Matt Barnard, Matthew Eaton in this one as well. Fraser Watson also on 2 bikes today. Into that final corner, Danny Taylor in the 4. Mongoose Zoltan Bude in there. Scott Beaumont takes his first win. Check out the 96 podcast. Race 49, Ian Milne, Mark Moore in this one. Dylan Dixon, George Salmon, Grant Yerbury, Simon Homans. It's like the 90s all over again. Simon Homans out in front. We were talking about that old silver Odyssey helmet that he used to wear. That was basically a bowling ball with a peak on. And it was made out of cheese. It offered no protection whatsoever. Mark Moore in there in 2, Dixon in 3, Ian Milne crossing the line. Grand Vets, Timmy Turnbar, Julian Allen, B final winner. What's he going to give us on that send it frame? Hilly going through. That looks like who's that? Patrick Graham, I think, in there as well. Dominic Elliott, Stephen Fortune in there aboard that main boat, taking that 3rd spot. Timmy Turnbar in there in 4. Plenty of Brixton riders in that. That making you chuckle, that, Lewis, Timmy Turnbar. Right, hang on, Grand Veterans, we're still on with it. Knight, Archibald, Craig Nelly Nelson with his Blue Peter number plate is one he made earlier. Oh, he's got a proper one now. Well done, Craig. Battling with Martin Ogden, Brett Knight in there as well. All these boys old enough to know better, young enough not to care. It's going to be Archibald, Ogden, Nelson and Knight. Sounds like a firm of solicitors. It's the top 4 in Grand Veteran. Alrighty, here we go. Championship women, hold on to your hats, people, because these ladies are absolute flyers. Looks like Chalice and May going 1 and 2. Emily Hutt diving on the inside. That's your 1, 2 and 3 at the moment. And going through as well, doing it for Moto 1. Megan Roy. Oh, pair of scissors for Emily Hutt as she cut off Bella May going round that corner. Annalise Cadman Carpenter in there in 5. It's going to go Chalice, Hutt, May, Roy, Cadman Carpenter in that order.
Sekaraka Championship Women hit the track, looking like Crucial Racing on the inside. Sienna Harvey, she's going to pick up the whole shot in turn number 1. Harvey leads it for Crucial Racing. The 061 in there behind her, bringing it on through. That looks like it could be Tia Gaynor doing it for Moto 1 race team. Pure Bikes is in there as well with Elizabeth Bound, bringing through the top 3. Birmingham NRT, that's Laurie and Carruthers in there in 4. And the 5 spot into the final turn, that's Sabina Ashman doing it for Rustin Racing. But your race winner is going to be Sienna Harvey for Crucial Racing.
Right, we'll just move before Junior Open starts. Webster, Larkins, Edwards, Clitheroe, Hart and Phillips absolutely stacked this gate as they head towards turn number 1. Looks like Larkins is going to pick up the whole shot. James Clitheroe diving underneath. That's Webster in there in 3. The Moto 1 rider trying to go through is Louis Tay Edwards as they go in and out. Finn Phillips in there as well. Look at the battle out front. Ben Larkins. Oh! Larkins, the slightest of touches with Clitheroe. Down he went. Let's hope he's all right. Jake Hart went down as well. After the fact, wee-wah, woo-wah. We've already started with a banger. All right, Ben Larkins is walking away. Let's hope he's all right. It was the slightest of touches with James Clitheroe, literally just brushed each other, and it was enough to put Ben on the ground.
More junior men hit the track. Who's that on the inside looking like Ruben Byrne? But the whole shot is going to go to Finn Hoff by the looks of things. Doing it for B Strong Race Team. Burns right there with him glued to his back wheel. Here comes a 0.58 up the inside. Looking like that could be Cody Coker. So Coker's worked his way into a top 3 spot behind Hoff and Byrne. Last turn action. Hughes is in there in 4. In and out they're going down the final straight. Bringing it down to the stripe. Finn Hoff takes the win.
Right, Junior Open, Curtis Copeland, Thomas Miller, Henry Jaden Green in this one. As they head towards turn number 1, we've got the 2 guys out of the Jump Club. Which one's come out in front? Looks like Ollie Kendley won. JTL Simpson Davis in there in 2, so these boys going well. Next up, the 8.59 of Henry inside the top 3. Curtis Copeland going through in 4 as they come out of the final corner. Kendall, JTL Simpson Davis going to go 1 and 2 across the line. Henry picking up the 3. Great lap for Jump Club S&M Source.
Heading to the moto of the first rack, heading towards turn number 1. B Strong Race Team, Ross the boss, Cullen leads this one out. Cullen, Marnham, 1 and 2. Where's George Hunt? He's in there in 3. That looks like it could be Harry Tanner in the mix as well, in there in about 4 at the moment. Heading through the third straight, Ross Cullen as smooth as you like. In and out of the final turn. A winner on day 1 in Verona. Look at that, skills to pay the bills. Josh Marnham for 2.
One word, cheeky. Right, let's have a look who's on next. We've got Harrison Bell on the inside as they head towards turn 1. Looks like Taylor Hunt. Oh, he didn't quite pick up the whole shot because he was stolen away from him by the 5.46, and that belongs to Bradley Russell out of Birmingham BMX Club. Russell in 1, Taylor Hunt in 2. Maybo are trying to get in there. That's going to be Jay Boville inside the top 3. Harrison Bell in 4. In and out of the final turn we go. Moose being made in that corner. Looks like Bradley Russell and Taylor Hunt. They're going to go 1 and 2. Jay Boville in 3. Round 1 of motos is done.
And just like that, we are back round to the start of the motos. Round number 2 for block number 2. We are going to kick things off again with the 13-year-olds. Max McNulty, Adam Arnold, Jack Perkins, Henry Potts, Josh Lewis, Dylan Spence, Sam Dolan and Riley Butt.
Random start. Riders ready. Watch the gate.
Straight back into it then with race number 59, looking like JP. Jack Perkins has had a blinding gate. He's going to pick up the whole shot in turn number 1 for Mabo UK. Perkins is out front, then the 23 plate in there behind him. Got to be Henry Potts out of Bruntwood Park National Race Team. In and out of that second corner, the Team Bunnies riders are getting a little bit clogged up inside of each other, looking like McNulty is hanging on to that top 4 spot as he goes into that final turn. Who's there in 3? Got to be Riley Butt doing it for Absolute. Last straight action, McNulty putting pressure on Butt. Butt's going to hang on to that top 3. Dylan Spence in 5. Race 60 on track, the 4 on the plate. That is Ethan Howell, Evolve Collective, leading this one through into that second corner. Hot Shot Racing's Ethan Crooks Martin is in there in that 2 spot, chasing him on round. Joe Douglas is in the mix somewhere as well on the 11 plate. He's shuffled back to about 5. That looks like the 9 plate working his way through those. Sullivan Collis out of Absolute. He's inside the top 4, but it's all about Howell picking up that moto win. GT Factory, James Miller 2 on the plate. He's going to pick it up in and out of that first corner. Who's in there with him? That looks like the 40 plate of Roland Ells, doing it for Derby BMX Club, looking for a way round. Oh, didn't quite get it as smooth as he wanted to into turn number 2, but he's upright and still chasing Miller through that third straight. The 10 plate in there as well, looking like Thomas Honeywell doing it for Green Machine. That's your front 3 then. Miller running away with it as they head down the final straight. He'll be happy with that one. Race 62 heading towards that first corner. Darwin Shepherd in this one for Team Bunnies. He's on the inside and about 5 at the moment, just being shuffled back as some moves came in the corner. It is the 449 then leading this one out. That is Harry Holmes out of Braintree BMX Club. He's being put under pressure from what looks like Rusting Up Racing. That is Gilmore Green on the 19 plate. Check out Green doing it the hard way round the outside, shuffles into that top spot then. So Green leads it down the final straight from Holmes in there in 2. The 29 plate going to round out the top 3. That's Evan Davey out of Cornwall. Race number 63, Bent's T-Ball Kisses in this one, but the 14 plate is the rider leading it out. Josh Jepson looking good into that second corner. That is going to be T-Ball Kiss in about 4 at the moment, but he's got attacks coming left, right and centre, but the battle's out front. The 52 plate in there in that 2 spot, that's going to be Kurt Storkis looking for a way through in that final turn and down the last straight. He's in that 2 spot, chasing down to the stripe. The 3 look like Ralph Sowerby out of Decoy. Hunter van der Malion is in this one in about 3 at the moment, chasing down the riders in 2 and 1. That looks like Ethan Rogers, Mamo UK in that 2 spot, looking for a way round Fluent out front. That is Frankie Griffin on the 573. Here comes Rogers round the outside. Can he make it happen? I think he might just have it. So it is Rogers now leading it out down the final straight. Ethan Rogers taking that moto win from Griffin in 2. 13-year-old girls out on track, 3 on the plate, leading this one out. That's Emma Kiss out of Braintree. Stay Strong C&K in that 2 spot. Esme Ward on the 5 plate, chasing down Kiss through the 3rd straight. The 9 plate in there as well. That's Martha Cotton with the 11 in there in 4. That's Holly Diver out of the Titans in and out of the final turn. The front 4 looking safe and separated. It's going to be Kiss taking the win down to the wire. Race 66 on track. Pure Bicycles out front, the 2 on the plate. That is Ruby Warren looking good, heading towards that second corner. That looks like it could be Nia O'Connell in this one as well, riding out of BMX Widow Photography. Yes, it is on the 10 plate, chasing down the 7. Just in front of her, that is Dakota Tucker, riding out of Be Strong Race Team. So it is Pure, Be Strong, BMX Widow. That's your 1, 2, 3. With Braintree in 4. On to the 14-year-olds, Todd Smith, Notman on track. He's being chased by the 61 plate of none other than Oscar Jewell. That's got to be Nathaniel Eames, Evolved Bicycle Motocross in there in 3. The front 3 are separating a gap now from the other riders in the race, but it is all out front. Notman, Jewell, Eames, 1, 2, 3. Like a train down the final straight. Who's going to get it down to the wire? It is Notman. On track, we are looking at the European number 2, Kobe Rayford, as smooth as you like. He's being chased down there by Elvis Lawrence, who's looking to close down the gap on the exit of turn number 2. The 17 plate is in this one as well. That is Ronnie Richards doing it for fast signatures in and out of the final turn. Harry Donald, your European number 3, got a bit of work to do down the final straight. He's under a bit of pressure himself as he brings it to the line. Looked like Noah Butter, he might have just nicked through a 4 spot. Yes, he did. Donald for 5. 2 on the plate in race number 69, Ned Guppy for Absolute Bicycle Motocross. He's going 1 and 2 with a 6 plate of Isaac Shaw doing it for Pro Star BMX. That's your front leaders, and as they head into the final turn, Logan Young on the inside in that final corner. He's under a bit of pressure though as he exit and go down the final straight. Looking like that could be the 25 of Dexter Beer up out of Doncaster, rounding out the top 4. Race 70 on track. Nate Hamilton, Mabo UK. Cupero, his teammate in this one as well, in about 5 at the moment, so it is Hamilton leading it. Who's in there in 2? Got to be Osborne chasing him towards the final turn. Where's Freddie Parkinson? He's in there in about 5 at the moment. That's Robin Matter-Alonso in the 3. Look at the move from Parkinson in the final turn. Just gave the elbow to the Crank BMX coaching rider. That was Knowles exiting right.
All right, Moto 71, Toby Lynch out there on track at the moment. We've got Leo Cranston, Benjamin Dean, Harrison Barnes, Harry McFarlane, Leo Venning, Daniel Borrachini and Sam Rollison in there as well. Rollison going through in that 4th spot at the minute. Toby Lynch, Sorted Race Gear, leading it out. This kid's absolutely on fire at the moment. The 59 of Harrison Barnes out of Nuneaton. He's in there in 2. Cranston, I think, going through in 3. Borrachini inside the top 5 as we move on to moto number 72. James Cottrell, Rab Racing and Preston out there in front at the moment. Who's got that 2nd spot? It's the 12 of Freddie Richardson. Freddie's celebrating his 14th birthday. So happy birthday, Freddie. Have a great day, mate. He's in there in that 2nd spot. The 13 is Harry Bailey, Smiley's Flight Club, with Hotshot going through in 4. That's going to be Ben Millington, newly mounted on Hotshot for 2025. Female 14s, Jalaya Patel, Emily Eaton, Anastasia Muka, Maddie the Buddy Dixon, and Libby Coppin. Libby in there in 3. Chasing down Jalaya, who's out in front, doing it for Peckham. Emily Eaton in there in that 2nd spot. Working away down the inside, just stealing the lead away from Jalaya. Maddie's in there in 4. And Anastasia in 5. But it is the Pro Start rider, Eaton, taking that win. More 14-year-old girls, Rin Serafina Gianolino, Sidoni Cleve, Katie Miller, Matilda Zaharev. Zahariev. We'll try that one. Isabella Rowe, Sorted Race Gear, out in front. Katie Miller in there in 2. That'll be Rin Serafina Gianolino going through in 3. As they cross that line. With Sidoni Cleve in 4. One rider going down in that 1st turn. Rider out of Nottingham. Got a feeling it might be Finley Cranage. Another one down in the 2nd turn. Plenty of Nottingham riders in this one. Logan Whittleson going through. Not sure who hit the deck in the corner. But as they go across the line, it's going to be Jamira, Smith, Whittleson. That is your 1, 2, 3. Jack Gould inside the top 5. Race 76 on track. Franklin, Kirby, Guppy, Sim, Boone, Spirit and Richie heading into turn number 1. Looks like Guppy's got that lead. He's in there in that first spot. The 9 plate in 2 is Eden Boone. Where is Oliver Sim? Out of mid-lanks. He's inside the top 4. Pushing hard. Dalton Spirit chasing him down in 5. Just trying to pick up that rider in 3. It's the 29. That belongs to Ollie Kirby. But as they go down the final straight, it is going to be Guppy taking it to the line. Green Machine got a rider going through. That's going to be Ollie Kirby.
Race 77 on track. These 15-year-olds.
Eight plate, Harvey Tomlinson out in front. These are the 15-year-olds. Been a long day already, Lewis. William Chaplin going through in 3, looking for the 2, just about holding on to that bike, and Lucas Osborne rounding out the top 4. Race 78, Groves, Asher, Dunkley, Tandy, Freddie Entwistle in this one as well, and Dylan Powell, Entwistle out in front in that very familiar Birmingham National Race Team jersey. Looking good in that second spot. Mason Grove, Sorted Race Gear. And as they head in and out of that final turn, those 2 young men out in front, but there is pressure coming right at the death from the rider in there in 3. Not quite sure who it was. It was Alex Dunkley. Oliver James leading out moto number 79. Doing it for Fluent. Jack Davey, Lucas Seeley in this one as well. Feels like an age since I've seen Lucas. Still gets taller every time I see him. He's in there in that second position. The 22 of Jack Davey out of Cornwall in there in 3 and mixing it up with the boys and doing an absolutely superb job is Emmy Seawards. Stay strong, Clark and Kents. 15s, Tidy S, Eric McSwitty, Cooper McCrum, Bradley James, Zach Harvey, Lewis Hall and Eli Price. Tidy S aboard that Supercross. Out there in front, ever familiar on them brightly coloured Vision F1 frames. As he goes in and out of the final turn, Bradley James in hot pursuit. Cooper McCrum in there inside the top 4. Race 81, McFarlane, Burge, Cooper, Gardner, Brown and Lucia Matthews-Diaz out of Nightwoods. Pushing hard there in that 6th spot. Ola Cooper doing it for Nottingham, but out front is the battle between Grace Burge and Lottie Can't Stop, Won't Stop Brown. Absolute bicycle motocross high-low and in that final turn. Looking for the move on Grace Burge. Is she going to be able to make it stick at the line? I don't think she can. 3 and 4 quite close as well. And that was between Ola Cooper and Lucy Gardner. Macy Richardson, Ailey Watson, Itana Price, Summer Glynn, Ruby Walford and Eliza French. And it is BMX Widow Photography's Ailey Watson out in front, the 804. That is Summer Glynn aboard that Marshall. That very French-looking BMX machine. They all have that certain je ne sais quoi about them. Pun intended.
Moving on to race number 83. These are the 16-year-old boys. Looking like we've got Eli Smith out front on the 2 plate. The 2 and 3 from last season going 1 and 2 at the moment. That is Noah Everly in there behind Smith. So it is Rab Racing, Mavo UK in that order out of the final turn. Looking like Evolve Collective have got Henry Rayner in there for the top 3. Lewis Collins Nemo in 4. 1-2, 1-2. Casey, can we turn my treble up a touch and the volume up a slight bit as well, please? Just a touch, a small smidge. Ian, yeah, if Ian could do it, please, that'd be wonderful, thank you. Casey's taking no responsibility. Right, on track, we are looking at Kai Bowen, your world number 5. Ooh. Stay strong, C&K out front, so Bowen leads this one through. That looks like Barata in there behind him in that 2 spot, chasing him down this 3rd straight. The 16 plate in there as well, that's got to be Ollie Coppin. He's grown about 3 feet as well over the winter, and he's picking up a top 3 spot down the final straight. That's going to be your order with Bowen out front. Next up on track, Sean Brown, Ice Bikes. Yeah? Leading this one out, got Caden Dunn doing it for GT Factory in there behind him. Look at the rider in there in 3, looking for a move in that corner. Has he made it stick? It was the 15 of Samson Townsend doing it for Bournemouth. Didn't quite make it happen. So it's going to be Brown. Took a win earlier on his cruiser. He will be wanting to do the same on his smaller wheels later on this afternoon. Picking up that moto win, 16-year-old girls. Amelia Everly's in this one, European number 5, but she is now chasing down the world number 4. That is Jessica Marriott, doing it for Peterborough, heading into that second corner. So it is Marriott, Everly in that order. Who's in there in 3? It looks like BB Alderton on the 17 plate, doing it for DC Cycles with the 20 in there in 4. Smiley Maloney out of Retro Racing, heading down that final straight though. Marriott, she's going to take that moto win. Race number 88 now on track. Alexis McCartney in the middle of the pack in this one, but your race leader is Lottie Etmane. Had a cracking weekend last week in Verona. Got muddled up with my words then. Lottie Etmane out front, the 5 plate of Sophie Elwood in there in 2. Anya Matin Alonso in 3, in and out of the final turn. Looking like it could be the 15 plate in there in 4, heading down the final straight. That's going to be Betty Brewer rounding out the top 4 spots with McCartney in 5. Next up on track, Ruby Moores, the 4 on the plate. She's leading this one out, doing it from Manchester. Look at the battle going on for that 2 spot as they head into that second corner. Looking like we've got Hotshot Racing's Isla Radcliffe working her way into a top 2 spot. Now she's under pressure though from the 19, heading towards that final turn. That is Imogen Cockrell doing it for Ice Bikes, looking for a way round. She's going to have to settle for 3 at the moment, but she's coming back at Radcliffe down the final straight. That one's going to be tight for the 2 spot. Who got that one? Moores in 1, Radcliffe hung on to it, Cockrell for 3. 17, 18-year-olds, Jaden Fawcett's in this one. Where is he? He's at about 3 at the moment, looking for a way around the 19 plate, heading towards that final turn. That is Brandon Mallon holding him off at the moment, but down the last straight, it is going to be Green Machine picking up that moto win. Alfie Holloway out front. Race 91 on Esselmont in this one on the inside. He's going to pick up that whole shot in and out of that first corner, doing it for Stay Strong. That 10 plate in there with him. That's now gone really loud, if you can hear me up there, Ian. Bit too loud. Just a little bit. Thank you. On Esselmont. He's going to pick up this moto win. Steez. Race number 92. As Dan Henry exits right into the second straight. There's a battle on out front though. We're looking like we've got 0-1 Racing. Jack Clark is working his way into a top 3 spot. He's chasing down the 11 of Josh Williams out front, doing it for BMX Widow Photography. Williams down the final straight. He's going to take it to the line with Reece Toole in there behind him. More 17-18 open action heading into that first corner. We are looking at the 20 plate leading this one out. Dexter Gambe, he's going 1 and 2 with the 15 plate of Sam Muhar. He's having a much better lap this time round. He's in there in that 2 spot after he exited right on the exit of turn number 1 in his last moto. The 26 plate in there as well. Joshua Simpson Jacobs out of Peckham BMX around the outside of Muhar, trying to make it stick, and I think he's managed it. Here comes the 38 plate down the final straight. I think that was Jack Cameron, not quite going to get into the top 3 as the 1X comes past us. That is of course George Gerard, Hard Knocks bike coach, and he is going 1 and 3 with Elliot Brook out of Rab Racing and splitting them up. Looks like it could be Callum David out of Braintree heading down the final straight, but it's all about Hard Knocks out front with Gerard picking up that moto win.
Moto number 95 on track. Bird Pritchard, Fumi Ademi Hepburn in this one. Molly Simpson, Alaya Akaleli, Alexa Oyalola, and Annabelle Charlton as well out of Blackpool BMX, or Preston BMX Club, as they go in and out of the turn and down that straight. It is the 10 of Mika Pritchard doing it for DC Cycles out of Cornwall. In and out of that turn. Peckham Rider going through in 2. Preston riders getting involved, including right, where are we up to? Megan Gerard, there we go, race 96. Ella Lamb, Jamie Hyam, Lexi Arthurs, Teresa McConnell, and Yetska Hemstock. Yetska in there in 2, chasing down Megan. 2 riders out of Preston Pirates heading down towards that line. They're going to go 1 and 2 in this one. Riders to the pens for the next round, please. Riders to the pens for the next round. 756 was Lexi Arthurs. Oh, calm down, boys. Callum Chard Maple out in front. The only BMXer I've ever seen who's sponsored by a farm shop. Hopefully he gets free cabbages and broccoli. He's out there in front. Birmingham National Race Team, that'll be Finlay Clark going through in 2. Alex Taylor in 3, Hamlin in 4. Race 98, Ash Walker, Ruben Smith, Ned Penny in this one. In there in that second position, Josh Cates, Kyle Hill, Josh Rizzard and Keanu Schaefer-Cohen. But else in front, it is the DC Cycles rider. That's going to be Ruben Smith in and out that final turn. Absolute Ned Penny chasing him down. And Keanu Schaefer-Cohen rounding out the top 3. Izzard in there in 5. Tyrese Bradshaw, race 99. Out in front, Luke Davis-Hayes in this one, rounding out the top 5 at the minute. Pete Watson, Kendall Grieg, Jaden Seawards. In his disco pants, he's in there in that second spot. Heading towards the final corner. Oscar Matthew Cowlard rounding out the top 3. And the Greek boys are going through in 5 and 6. Race 100, Spencer Gibson, Brett Dove, Daniel Kay, Eddie Cannons in this one. Ben Fitzsimmons, Owen Putland, Oliver Cope and Brinley Savage. Bryn in there in 1. That's going to be Fawcett in there in 2. Sorry, Oliver Cope in 2. Right team, wrong rider.
Eddie Cannons in there in 3. He's going to blow your legs off.
Race 101. Let's have a look who we've got in this one. Evie Webster out in front. That is Morgan Haslam in there in 3. She's chasing down Ellie Featherston. That's Imogen Gibson rounding out the top 4 at the minute. Pressure coming though. And Izzy Hurry trying to get involved as well as they go down that straight towards the final turn. Annabelle Townsend making some moves now. She's got herself into the top 4. It's Webster, Featherston, Haslam, Townsend, Gibson in that order. More 19 to 29 female, our kids. Kaylin Ellis, Remy Godfrey, Alicia Lynn Scott. Remy in there in 2, Emily Clinch doing it for Evolve, the bicycle motocross. Inside the top 4. Pushing hard, the 21, that belongs to Alicia Lynn Scott out of Exeter. Kaylin takes it from Remy, with Hannah Drew coming in 3. Masters 30 plus. Adam Brazil in there in 1. Neil Brunez going through in 2. That's going to be the 4 plate in there in 3. That'll be Matthew Bourne. Do love those shiny chrome rims as Billy Irwin just works his way past for allensbmx.com and steals that 3rd position away. Billy Luckhurst. Oh! Wow, wow, wow. That is a broken Supercross frame. Is that Farron Affleck Straker? Yep, that frame is toast. George Utley went down as well, as did the 22 of George Higley. That frame is done. Absolutely done.
Put your hands together, ladies and gents. Darren Utley's up to his feet. Farron Stracker's up as well. George Higley's going to ride away. Some amazing sportsmanship as well. That's what we like to see.
Right, back on with female 30 plus Becca Gold, Nita Wong and Magic Amanda Hemstock and her Healing Hands of Heaven. That is your 1, 2, 3 at the moment. Coach Chizzy going through in 4th, 1 Clements in 5, Claire Albert in 6. Pretty much the same order as they were last time around, but all these ladies giving their all as usual, which we love to see. It's going to be Becca Gold, Nita Wong, 1 and 2. Magic Manda in 3. Moving on. Veterans 40 plus. Matt Barnard leading it out of the turn. In there in 1 with Fraser Watson chasing him down. 445, that belongs to Grant Yerbury from Bath BMX Club. Aboard that Curtis. If there's anything more southwest, it's Bath BMX Club and Curtis Bikes. Peterborough rider going through on the 917 is Dylan Dixon. Matthew Eaton in there as well, but it's going to be Barnard, Watson, Yerbury, your 1, 2, 3.
More vets action on track. The 1X on the plate. Scott Boom Boom Beaumont, the host of the 96 podcast, leads this one in and out of turn number 2. Looks like it could be the 4 plate of Danny T in there in that 2 spot, chasing him towards the final corner. Who's that around the outside? Could have been Boudet working his way. It was Zoltan Boudet working his way into a top 3 spot. He's going to wrap up them top 3 finishes along with Simon Homans out of GT Factory in 4. Grand Vets 50 plus on track. Hilly leads it out on that 1 bike, doing it for Pure Bicycles. The 8 plate in there behind him. That is Fitzroy Bryce doing it for Birmingham BMX Club. Craig Nelson is inside the top 3. He's got Brett Knight swarming all over his back wheel though. And here comes the 7 plate of Steve Fortune for Mabo UK. He's looking for a way into the final turn. He's squeezed underneath Knight. He's getting busy on the exit of the final corner. Hilly, Bryce, Nelson, Fortune, Knight. 1, 2, 3, 4 and 5. Race 109 on track. Then we are looking at the 4 plate leading this one through. That is Brett Archibald doing it for the Titans with Martin Oggy Ogden in there in that 2 spot. Jules Allen, Timmy Turnbar in there in 3, doing it for Halo Wheels Race Team. The 9 plate in there in 4, chasing him into the final corner. That is a looking like Dominic Elliott out of Brixton heading down the final straight. That's going to be your front 4 with Brett Archibald, your moto winner. Champ women up on the gate. Megan Roy, Freya Chalice, Annalise Cobman Carpenter, Sabina Ashman and Sienna Harvey. Race 110, the championship women are hitting the track. Freya Chalice is leading it into the turn. After her double bubble with the last weekend in Verona, she wants to do the same this weekend in championship women. Here at Manchester, it is Chalice leading it. Who's in 2? It is Sienna Harvey chasing her down. The 3 spot coming on round, looking like that could be Megan Roy on the 800 plate, doing it for Moto 1 Race Team. In and out of the final turn, Chalice going to pick up that Moto win. Harvey in there for 2, Roy 3, Carpenter's in there for 4, Sabina Ashman in 5.
Second Racket Championship women heading down the hill. Emily Hutt-Bellamy the first to show. Maggie Bounds getting in there as well. Lorianne Carruthers on the inside as they head into that first turn. Taya Gaynor as well. So Hutt, May, Bound. That is your 1, 2, 3 at the moment as they enter that second turn. Emily Hutt starting to open up a 3 or 4 by length lead now over Bellamy as they head down towards the final corner. Bound still looking good in 3. Lorianne Carruthers in 4. Taya Gaynor in 5. Emily Hutt takes the win. Bellamy going through for a strong second place. Maggie Bound in 3.
First rack of Junior Open for the second set of motos headed towards turn number 1. Ben Weiss has got on a great gate. He's on the outside. JTL Simpson Davies has dived underneath everyone and he's come out in that 2 spot. Cody Coker leads it out. Here comes JTL Simpson Davies. Weiss is round the outside. So it is Coker, Weiss, Davies. 1, 2, 3. Who's picking up the 4 spot? Looking like that could be the 874 in and out of the final turn. That's Louis Tay Edwards. Davies isn't done yet. He's chasing Weiss down to the line. Cody Coker in 1. That one was tied for 2. Weiss hung on to it. JTL Simpson Davies for 3.
Hold on to your hats, people. More Junior Open racing heading down the hill. Let's have a look who's going to be first into the turn. Looks like the 859. Oh, one rider down. Not sure who it was. Clitheroe holding on to it in there in 2. 782 trying to work his way in. That one belongs to Heath Thomas. Finley Hoff inside the top 4, but it looks like absolute bicycle motocross. Henry in and out of the final turn. Henry James Clitheroe with the late push to the line. Hard Knocks versus Absolute. Henry gets it. We've just got to look after Thomas Millar, who's down on that first straight. He's walking away, which is good to see.
Gate goes down, more Junior Open action for you, ladies and gentlemen, headed towards turn number 1. Ruben Byrne came up short a little bit on the first jump, and that leaves Ollie Kendall to pick up the whole shot. Kendall, Byrne, in that order. Here comes Miller Hughes in there in 3. Who's picking up 4 as they come into that corner, looking like it could be Curtis Copeland out of Birmingham NRT, but it's all with Ollie Kendall. Jump Club S&M Source out front, looking good. Ruben Byrne in and out of the final corner, chasing him down. Hughes, he's going to round out the top 3 spots. Copeland in 4.
First rack of Superclass heading down the hill. Let's have a look. Bradley Russell on the inside. Got himself a great start. Taylor Hunt in there as well. Harrison Bell, oh, trying to thread the needle. Ended up on the floor. Gabe Simpson inside the top 4 now. Oh, somebody else got it wrong. Going across that pro section. It's still Bradley Russell leading it out. Ben Cornish in there as well as they head towards the final corner. In and out we go. Russell, Hunt, Simpson. Oh! Whole change at the front. Bradley Russell got it wrong, went from 1st to 4th in the blink of an eye.
Last moto of the second set hits the track. Cullen gets an absolute blinding start, and it is going to be B Strong, Ross the Boss Cullen leading it out. George Hunt is getting busy in turn number 1. Cullen, Marnham, Hunt, 1, 2, 3. Who's that on the inside of Hunt in turn number 2? Here comes Jay Boville threading needles as well. He's worked his way up to about 5, heading into the final turn. Charlie Roy occupies that 3 spot. It's going to be Cullen, Marnham, 1 and 2, Roy, Hunt 3 and 4, Boville, Markley 5 and 6, and Danny O'Gorman coming home in 7. That is your second set of motos done and dusted, ladies and gents.
I have the sneakiest of sneaking suspicions that we will be going straight into quarters after the motos. Here's Abby. Earbuds in, camera out. Not listening to a word I say.
Just to confirm, we are going straight into quarterfinals. Once motos are finished, straight into quarters. So as your age group motos start finishing for this third set, keep an eye out on scores. It's pretty instant for it to update and drop your quarterfinals onto scores. So please keep an eye out. Straight into quarterfinals as soon as motos have finished.
Okay, riders, right up start. Riders, ready, 1, 2,
13-year-olds, oh, look like Sullivan Collis got it wrong out of the gate. He's right there at the back of the pack with all the work to do as they head towards turn number 1. Jepson just working his way into a solid second position, but it's JP, Jack Perkins, Mabo UK leading it out at the moment. The 52 in there in 3. Kurt Storkis going well as well. Roland Ells on that 40 plate as they come out of turn number 2. Roland's in that 4 spot. Charlie Bob Craig in there in 5. The 5.73 is Frankie Griffin from Fluent, who's in there in 6, but it's going to be JP, Jack Perkins taking it to the stripe. Jepson in there in 2, Storkis in 3. Race 118, Green, Hoff, Spence, Mallion, Farmer, Fox Cooper, Crooks Martin and Oakley Holloway. It is Crooks Martin doing it for Hot Shot, heading down that straight towards the second turn, looking good. Retro Racing, Stanley Farmer inside the top 3, looking smooth as he chases down Dylan Spencer and Team Bunnies, who's in there in that second spot. The 19 belongs to Gilmore Green, Rusty Nut Racing. Flowing down that third straight, he's in there in 4. Bruntwood's race team, Zabby Fox Cooper rounding out the top 5. Race 119, Selby, Potts, Rogers, Douglas, Thurley, Kiss, Ajibade and Miller. Miller in there in 2, chasing down Ethan Rogers, doing it for Mapo UK. Henry Potts in there in 3. That looks like a decoys Ralph Sowerby inside the top 4 as Joe Douglas works his way into 5 past the rider from Peckham. But it is going to be Rogers taking the win for Mapo UK, followed by James Miller. Race 120, Howell, Twazadilo, Brooks Fifield, Bojang, Pipe, Tyres, Kacharik and McNulty. McNulty in there in about 3rd at the moment, just making his move, chasing down Tyres, but it's the 4 out in front. That'll belong to Ethan Howell from the Evolve Collective. Moving on, we've got race 121, Lewis, Arnold, Butch, Shepherd, Cooper, Stone and Bodie Markley. Absolute Bicycle Motocross, Riley Butts. Out in front, Oliver Arnold, Smiley's Flight Club in there in 2, the 31. Bodie Markley in there in 3, with Braintree's rider Max Cooper rounding out the top 4. Nottingham, they've got Darwin Shepherd, he's in there in 5. Loving that Nottingham Club jersey. One, two, two, Jamie Turblanche, Dolan, Honeywell, Jackson, Davey, Ford and Adam Arnold as well. Adam's double biking this weekend, pushing hard, the 29. That is Evan Davey out of Cornwall. Thomas Honeywell leading it out. As they push towards the final straight, there's a big battle going on. Sam Dolan trying to hold on to that top 3. 123, Lewis.
Race 123, just to let you know as well, guys, we are on the hunt for an iPhone 12. Someone has lost an iPhone 12, so please keep your eyes peeled for an iPhone 12. It is in the building somewhere, we believe. So just keep your eyes peeled, and if you do see it, give us a shout over at commentary or let one of the commissaire team know. Thank you very much. As Ruby Warren picks up that moto win. Sorry about that, Ruby. And we will move on to race 1, 2, 4. Emma Kiss on track. 3 on the plate. She's being chased down by the 5 of Esme Ward out of Stay Strong, Clark and Ken. So that is your front 2 as they go in and out of turn number 2. Who's in there with them inside the top 3? Got to be the 7 of Dakota Tucker out of Be Strong Race Team. The 10 of Naira O'Connell doing it for BMX with her photography in there in 4. That looks like it could be I think that was mid-length actually. Isabella Gerard in 5. As we move on to the 14-year-old boys out on track. 7 on the plate, got to be Bradley James leading this one out, heading for the 5. Toby Lynch leading this one out for Sorted Race Gear in and out of that final turn. Looking like it is Lynch, Notman, Shaw, that's your 1, 2, 3. Colazai in there inside the top 4 as we move on to race 1, 2, 6. William Knowles in this one on the inside for Crank BMX Coaching, making moves in turn number 1, but it is the 15 plate leading them out. Ben Millington out of Hot Shot Racing, looking like Maxwell Lawrence is in there in that 2 spot, doing it for Braintree. Bullets on the 29 plate, but he's under pressure from the 17 of Ronnie Richards. Looking up the inside for fast signatures. He's going to work his way from 3 to 2 and slots in nicely behind Millington. So it is Millington and Richards down the final straight, drag racing to the line. Who's going to get the moto win? I have a sneaky suspicion it was Ronnie Richards. Moving on, race number 127. Heath Osborne's in this one. He's on the inside looking to pick up the whole shot, but he's got the 5 of Nate Hamilton out of Mabo UK glued to him as he exits to turn number 1. But Osborne is flying down that second straight and he's checked out from the rest of the pack. There's a battle going on for 3 as they go in and out of turn number 2. It is the 2 plate making moves. Ned Guppy out of Absolute Bicycle Motocross shuffling back. The Team A rider, that's Oscar Jewell. He's now back in 4. Hamilton putting pressure on Osborne down to the line. Osborne hangs on. Stay Strong C&K now out on track. You are, of course, looking at your European number 2, Kobe Rayford, heading into that second corner. That's Robin Matter-Alonso in there in the 2 spot. Who's picking up 3? Got to be Nathaniel Eames out of Evolve Bicycle Motocross. He's on an absolute flyer, heading down that 3rd straight, the 59 plate. In there in 4, that's Harrison Barnes out of Nuneaton, but it is all about your European number 2, Rayford, Alonso, Eames in that order. Race 129 now out on track, your world number 7, check him out, James Cottrell leads it into turn number 2, that looks like it could be Logan Young out of DC Cycles, yes it is in that 2 spot, but he's being chased down by the 20X of Freddie Parkinson out of Pro Star BMX into that final corner. Here comes BMXHype.com, that is Harry Donald, your European number 3, inside the top 4, chasing Parkinson down the final straight, not quite going to get close enough, he'll have to settle for 4. Dexter Beerup is on track. Where is he? He's in the middle of the pack, I believe. He's getting busy down that second straight. Who's leading it out there? I'm thinking that's actually Dexter in that 2 spot. But your race leader is the 16 plate of Newton Hindley. Hindley leads it then from Beerup into that final turn. Elvis Lawrence is in there in the 3 spot, but he's being chased out of that final corner by Freddie Richardson on the 12 plate. That's going to be your front 4 riders taking it across the line. Hot Shot Racing in 5. 14-year-old girls exit turn number 1, and it is the 1 plate leading them out. Katie Millar, Moto 1365, Moto 1 race team, but she's under pressure from Rin Janalino, doing it for Evolve Collective, in and out of that second corner. Sorted Race Gear, picking it up as they come on down. Isabella Rowe, she's made her move though, and it's stuck, so she's gone from 3 to 2, down that 3rd straight. Last straight action then, all about Millar. She's going to take another moto win. Libby Coppin on track in race number 132. She was on the inside of that first corner, but it is going to be the 6 plate of Sidonie Cleve doing it for Fluent Bicycle Motocross, leading this moto out. She's been chased down by the Pro Start rider. That looks like Emily Eaton, your British champ from last season. Hardly dropped many laps all year long, but she's out there at the moment in that 2 spot doing all she can to close the gap to Cleve out front down the final straight. It is going to be Cleve, Eaton, Copping, 1, 2, 3. Zaharev in there for 4 and Muhar in 5. Oliver James, is on track, leading out a race at number 133. Looking like we've got a Sorted Race Gear rider in the form of Mason Groves in that 2 spot, chasing James into that final corner. Who's picking up a top 3 spot? Rusting Up Racing's Freddie Franklin. That's going to be your top 3 as they head down the final straight. Mid-Lank's in there as well in 4. That's going to be Oliver Sim.
Okay, right.
Next up, we are looking at race 134. Eric McSwitty in that 2 spot heading into the first corner. But it's all about the 8 plate. Harvey Tomlinson, he had an absolute flying season last year. That's why he's got the 8 on the front of his bike, but he's checking out of this moto at the moment. Tomlinson 1 and 2 with McSwitty heading down the 3rd straight then. Peckham BMX Club leading this one out. The 33 plate in there in 3. That's Lucas Tandy out of Birmingham BMX Club. He's going through out of that final corner. The 31 plate of David O'Prey in there inside the top 4. Race 135 up on the gate. Gate goes down. Harvey to Blanche, Price, Colin, Asher, Guppy and Jones all going to battle it out for that 1 spot, but it's looking favoured at the moment with Amos Guppy on the 5 plate doing it for absolute bicycle motocross. The 37 in there in that 2 spot doing all he can to close the gap. That is Ollie to Blanche out of MK Evolution, repping that Who Is Crew jersey as he exits turn number 2. That looks like we've got the 232 plate in there as well. Devanish ready. Colin looking for a way around the rider, just swooping up the inside. That's going to be the 68 plate of Zach Harvey. He's going to pick up that top 3 spot. Shuffling Colin back to 4. Tidy S is on track. Elijah Jamira's in the mix as well inside the top 3, but it is Supercross Factory leading this one out. Who's in there behind him, picking it up as they come on round? Got to be Birmingham NRT on the 16 plate heading towards that final corner. That's going to be Lucas Osborne. In and out they go. DS, Osborne in that order. Who's going to pick up the 3 spot? Going to be the W3 of Emmy Seawood down to the line. Elijah Jamira having settled for 4. 4 on the plate in race 137. Lucas Seeley out on track, leading them out. The 7 plate in there behind him. That's Bradley James heading towards that second corner. 1 BMX race team of Eden Boone in there in 3. He's being chased down by the 34 plate from LVG NRT. That is Will Chaplin. Also under pressure from Evolve Collective, Alex Dunkley. He's going to have to settle for 5. As we take a look at race 138. David, McCrum, Wooderson, Smith, Spirit, Entwistle and Avery. Where is Louis Avery? He's in there in that 2 spot at the moment, under a bit of pressure from Davies to come down that 3rd straight. That's Logan Wooderson in there in 4. But your race leader in and out of the final corner, gotta be Birmingham NRT's Freddie Entwistle on the 12 plate. 15-year-old girls, race 139 on track. Ailey Watson is on the outside looking in at the moment as your race leader. Lottie can't stop, won't stop. Brown, your European number 4, leads this into turn number 2. Watson's in there in 2. Who's in there in 3? That is Evolve Collective. Ruby Walford on the 6 plate. So that's your front 3 riders as they come through the 3rd straight. The 10 plate in the mix as well. That is Atana Price being chased down by the 6 into that final corner. Looking like that could be Lottie McFarlane out of Peterborough Phantoms heading towards the line with Lucia Matthews in at 6. Race 140 on track with Summer Glynn. She's in the middle of the pack in 3 at the moment with the 4 plate out front. Grace Burge doing it for Green Machine Tribe. That looks like it could be Team Minds Lucy Gardner in that 2 spot, chasing down the 4 as they head through that 3rd straight. Glynn's in there in 3. Who's in 4? That's Orla Cooper. In and out of the final corner they go. It's all about Green Machine out front. Burge hanging onto it under pressure by Gardner to the line. Glynn's going to settle for 3, Gardner for 2, and your race winner was Grace Burge.
141 to Young, Barata, O'Reilly, Everly, Davison, McCallum and Angus Graham in this one as well. It looks like Barata's battling away with the Maybell rider. That's going to be Noah Everly in and out of that final turn, bringing it down towards the line with the 149 of Riley as well. Davidson in 4, Angus Graham going through in 5 as we move on. Kai Bowen out from the world at number 5, doing it for Stay Strong, Clark and Kent. Oscar Stanbury doing it for Nightwoods. We've got John O'Harradine in there for MK Evolution, battling with Ollie Coppin. Oh, very nearly got it wrong. And still trying to make a move in that final turn. That's kind of just put the mockers on his lap. As we move on to Race 143, Zachary Tier, Jack Strong, Sean Brown in this one. Ice Bikes out in front. Sam Millington, Oliver Muka. And it is the Evolve rider, Henry Rayner, who's in there in that second spot, chasing Brown into the final turn. Zachary Tier going through in 3. Got a feeling that's Oliver Muka in 4. As we move on to Moto 144, Kay, Bradshaw, Blaine. That's Eli Smith in that second spot. Chasing down Kai Blaine, GT rider Caden Dunn. Working his way into that third place. Lewis Collins Nimmo in there in 4 with the Manchester rider going through in 5. Thomas Kay. Ruby Moores, Jess Marriott. Oh, diving underneath the Maypole rider Amelia Reveley, looking for a way through. The real deal, Amelia Reveley. In there in that second spot, just sliding back. Jumping Jess Marriott, working her way past. That's Elwood going through in 4. Ice Bikes, Yetska Hemstock and Lucy Groundwater as well. But it's going to be Ruby Moles, Jess Marriott and Amelia Everly. 146, Anya Mattern Alonso leading out. She's got Betty Brewer to contend with as well. As the hotshot rider works her way into 3, that's Isla Radcliffe. Smiley Maloney in 4 with Smiley's Flight Club rider Eleanor Curtis. In 5, Charlotte Stanley in 6. Anya Mattern Alonso, Peckham BMX Club out in front. Lottie Etmane leading out moto number 147, Adele Veruti in there as well. Somewhere in there in that 4th spot. Chasing down birthday girl Alexis McCartney, BB Alderton, doing it for DC Cycles, and Bethany Coates out of Decoy. Race 148, 17, 18 years old, Granger Williams. Good to see Josh back on a bike. Lamin Akalele and Malachi Price even. Jaden Fawcett, Hard Knocks Bike Coaching, leading it into the final turn though. Good to see Brandon Mallon getting involved and being inside the top 4. Fawcett passing his team tents, taking the win. As we go to moto number 149. Arne Esselmont, Stylemonger Extraordinaire. In there doing it for Stay Strong, Clark and Kent. Reese Hill, Patrick Dyer. Reese in there in that 3rd spot. Not sure who picked up the 2. It was Max Burgess. Race 150. George Gerard. More Hard Knocks Bike Coaching. Out in front where you expect to see them, the 5. That is Alfie Holloway, Green Machine Tribe. Sam Hamblin in there as well in that 3rd spot. Alex Stokes, Evolve Bicycle Motocross, pushing hard still in a very, very stacked class. As we look at Moto 151, Wilmot, Henry, Young, Gapai, Gambe and Elliot Brooke. Fluence Che Young is the man out front and in control. Elliot Brooke in there in 3. That's going to be Dan Henry out of Birmingham BMX Club in there in 4. Dexter Gambe in the 2nd position. As we move on to Moto 152. Marky Reynolds, Jack Clark, Tommy Haddleton, Samuel Muka, Zach Green in that BMX Race Hub jersey. Looks absolutely immense. As we know, the racing brought to us by BMX Race Hub, keeping it live and free for all. If you can support them by buying a bit of merchandise, maybe a donation, that would be massively appreciated. As we move on to 153, Lewis.
17 to 18-year-old women on track. The 20 plate, Jetska Hemstock leads this out for Ice Bikes. A UK who's in there with her out of Peckham BMX. That is Fumi Adarami Hepburn bringing on them top 2 spots through that 3rd straight. The 24 plate in there as well. That is Ella Lamb doing it for Retro Racing with Preston Pirates. Inside the top 4 in and out of that final turn. That's Annabelle Charlton rounding them out as they head down the final straight. But out front, Jetska Hemstock, your moto winner. Race 154 on track. That looks like Mika Pritchard. DC Cycles headed towards that 2nd corner. Who's in there behind her? Got to be Megan Gerard doing it for Rab Racing. So it's DC, Rab, Team Mind. 1, 2, 3. Peckham BMX Club in there in 4. That's the 25 plate of Alaya Akareli chasing down the Team Mind rider. That's Lacey Baird out of Bournemouth BMX on the 7 plate, but it's out front with Pritchard, Gerard in that order as they cross the line. 19 to 29-year-olds on track. It's getting busy. It is Brinley Savage leading this one through your world number 3. Here comes Finn Clark. Looked up the inside of Savage into turn number 2. Crucial Racing, Birmingham NRT. That's your order. Headed towards the final turn. The 18, the 13 in there as well. In and out of the final turn. Down the final straight. Looking like that was Seb Hamling out of SAS Race Team. 2nd rack of 19, 29-year-olds. Eddie Cannons is getting busy in turn number 1, and he stuck the move on the 1X of Ruben Smith, who's been shuffled back to that 3 spot. That was tight through the 2nd straight, but it's led away by Alfie Bax on the 230 plate, headed into that final corner. Stay strong, C&K, Bax, Cannons, Smith, 1, 2, 3. That looks like it is going to be SAS Race Team in there as well with Keanu Schaefer-Cohen. Mabo UK well represented in race number 157. Tyrese Bradshaw and Dan Kay going 1 and 2 at the moment. Last year's national champ and British champ looking good on track. Quarterfinals are posted, ladies and gents. Quarterfinals are up. We're going straight into quarters after motos. As we take a look down the final straight, Bradshaw, Kay, Gibson, 1, 2 and 3. Someone hit the deck in the turn. That was the 33 of Ash Walker. He's back up to his feet, riding away. One rider still down in the corner. Quarterfinals, ladies and gents, are up on scores. Quarterfinals are up. We're going straight into quarters once we have finished moto. So when that last Superclass gate drops, you will need to be in the pens, ready and waiting. Not quite sure who the fallen rider was, but they're back up, walking away. We are looking to resume racing with race 158. 19 to 29-year-olds, Pete Watson, Callum Child Maple, Owen Putnam, Jaden Seward, Ollie Cope, Josh Izzard and Alex Taylor. Race 158 hits the track. Callum Child Maples on the inside of this one, headed for turn number 1. Lashes, national number 2, but he's under a bucket load of pressure in that corner. Ollie Coates been shuffled back to 3 as the 7 plate has made his move. That's got to be Jaden Seawood, who's made the transition over to Stay Strong C&K through the winter. Maple, Seawood, 1 and 2. Ollie Coates in there in that 3 spot. Here comes a 3-2-4. In there in 4, that is Alex Taylor out of Brixton BMX. That's going to be your front 4 comfortable over the line. As we move on to 19 to 29-year-old women, Ellie Featherstone leads this one out on the 1 plate, doing it for Evolve Collective. She's being chased down by the 14, heading through that 2nd straight. That's Annabelle Townsend, doing it for Team A. Hannah Drew occupies that 3 spot, doing it for Pro Star BMX. Who's in there in 4? Check out the Evolved rider, getting busy. That was Emily Clinch making moves in the turn and shuffling the 16 of Amy Gibson back. She's now back in about 6 or 7. Looks like Featherstone's hit the deck in the final turn. Not sure what happened there. Team A's Annabelle Townsend takes the win. Put your hands together for Ellie Featherstone, ladies and gents. I think she slid out, didn't she? Yeah. We'll see Ellie back up on the gate later on, I'm sure. As we look at race 160 on track, that is the E6. Evie Webster, Absolute Bicycle Motocross. Remy Godfrey in there in that 2 spot. Caitlin Ellis in 3. Morgan Haslam in there in 4. Izzy Hurry in there for 5. This age group is looking wicked this weekend. The Masters are on track. George Higley is on the inside, heading into turn number 1. Higley leads it. Who's that there with him? Got to be the 3 plate of Billy Irwin. Doing it for Allen's Factory Supercross, the 4. In there as well, that's Matt Bourne doing it for Crucial Racing. The front 3 are separated from the rest of the packers. It's getting a little bit busy with a few elbows flying in turn number 2. That is the 5 plate, bringing it on round inside that top 4 spot. David James doing it for Green Machine, but it's Higley out front, picking up that moto win. This one's looking stacked. Lucas is on the inside. Ben Martinez is in about 4, so it is Lucas leading it. Brazil in there in 2. Who's that in 3? Looking like that could be the W7 of Neil Brunez, doing it for BMXHype.com. Crucial Racing got 2 riders going through in 3 and 4. That is Brazil and Martinez. Brazil looks up the inside in the final corner. It's going to be Lucas, Brunez in that order down to the wire, with Adam Brazil rounding out the podium spots. Female 30 plus on a track. 6 riders in this one. All 6 ladies doing both bikes this weekend. Rebecca Gold on the 1 plate, leading this one out. Last year's national champ. Riding out of Absolute Bicycle Motocross, she's going in 1 and 2 with Anita Wong. Out of DC Cycles on the 6 plate, doing it for the Hawks. Manda Hemstock on the 7 plate, doing it for Ice Bikes. Out of Preston, Annie Chisholm was under a bit of pressure from Fwan Clements, who's working her way around the outside for Team A. So it's Bunny shuffled back to 5, then Chizzy. She's in there in that 5 spot, bringing it down the final straight with Claire Albert in 6. Out of Cornwall, Vets hit the first turn, got to be Scott Boom Boom Beaumont leading this one out. Who's that there with him? Matt Barnard bringing it on round, doing it for Stay Strong C&K, the 917 in there as well. That's Dylan Dixon out of Peterborough Phantoms BMX Club, but it is out front with the 1X. Beaumont, check it out, down the final straight. He's going to take this moto win. Barnard in there behind him. More vets in race 165. Danny T's on the inside for Crucial Racing. Who's that there with him? Low moves being made in the turn. One rider hit the deck. Grant Newbury it was that went down. Fraser Watson made some moves. Grant came up short and caught the back wheel, so it is Danny T. Fraser Watson 1 and 2 in that order. GT Factory going through in 3. That was Simon Homans. Grand Vets on track, race 166. Hilly hits the first corner out front once again this weekend already, and we've not even finished day number 1. Your national champ from last year, Pure Bicycles, in that lovely new 2025 kit. He's leading this one out. Martin Oggy Ogden repping the Divide brand in there in that 2 spot. He's being chased down by Hot Shots. Craig Nelson on the 3 plate into the final turn. Maybo UK, Steve Fortune, he's inside the top 4. That's how they're going to wrap it up down the final straight. As Fitzroy Bryce gets busy in the next moto, Christos Chorkos looks up the inside of him in the turn. Timmy Turnbull's throwing elbows in the corner as well, and he's ended up in about 5 at the moment. He's looking up the inside, so it is got to be Archibald, I think that is. Here it is, Brett Archibald out front, Christos Chorkos in the 2 spot. Brett Knight looking for a way round Chorkos into the final turn for Crucial Racing. Jules Allen is under loads of pressure from Fitzroy Bryce down the final straight. It's going to be Archibald, Chorkos, Knight, 1, 2, 3. First Racker Championship women up on the gate. Moto 169 hits the track. These are your championship women headed for turn number 1. Freya the Slayer Chalice in and out of that first corner aboard that lovely new Maybo. She's leading this one out. The 061 in there behind her. That is Tia Gaynor chasing her down on the out of Moto 1 race team, who's in there in 3, Elizabeth Bound, doing it for Pure Bicycles, the 6 of Sabina Ashman, in there inside the top 4, and Annalise Cadman Carpenter coming out of the final turn in 5, but Freya Chalice looks to pick up that Moto win.
Right, let's have a look. So busy watching what was going on, I forgot to start speaking. Anyway, Emily Hope, Bellarmé, 1 and 2, Sienna Harvey in there in 3. Got a feeling that's Megan Roy in 4, and Laurie Ann Carruthers in 5. But Be Strong BMX, Emily Hutt in and out that final corner, opening up a 6 or 7 bike length lead now over Bellarmé. Bella's under pressure now from Sienna Harvey as they come to the line. Emily gets it, Bella for the 2, Sienna for the 3. Hang on, we need to move.
Junior Open hits the track. Heath Thomas on the inside, who's looking to pick up the whole shot. The 859 Henry Air is getting busy. There's elbows flying. Ruben Byrne drops back to 3. It's Air, Thomas, Byrne. That's your 1, 2, 3. Craig BMX coaching getting busy in there in 4. In and out of that second corner, that was Jaden Green inside the top 4. So it's Air out front, looking good for Absolute Bicycle Motocross. He's been putting in the work over the winter by the looks of things. On a charge down the final straight. He's going to take that moto win.
Next rack of Junior Open, 3rd Moto, James Clearo, Hard Knocks by coaching on the inside. Ollie Kendall getting involved as well. Cody Coker just getting caught up in the pack, but working his way up into 3rd. JTL Simpson Davis trying to make some moves now. Cuts Miller Hughes off. He's off the end of the track. So as they go through that second corner, it's still Hard Knocks by coaching. James Clitheroe under serious pressure though from Ollie Kendall as they go in and out of that final turn. Clitheroe's going to hold it to the line. Clitheroe, Kendall, JTL Simpson Davis, 1, 2, 3. Finn Phillips in 4.
Last Junior Open moto of the day hits the track, looking like Finn Hoff on the outside for Be Strong. He's going to pick up the whole shot in and out of that first corner. Who's there with him? Looking like the 874 of Louis Tay Edwards is in that 2 spot. Curtis Copeland's worked his way up to 3. It's getting busy for that top 4 spot in and out of the corner. Looking like Absolute are picking up a top 4 finish at the moment. Last turn action, Finn Hoff on a charge. He's going to take this moto win down the final straight. Edwards, Copeland 2 and 3.
First of the 2 racks of Superclass, we've got Gabe Simpson, Ross Cullen on the inside as they head towards that first turn. Bradley Russell high on the outside but tucking in behind Ross Cullen. Simpson in there in 3, Harrison Bell in 4, all getting mixed up as they go into the turn. Charlie Roy trying to make some moves, diving underneath Ben Cornish, look at them locked together. Oh, that's going to be a big one. Are they going to hold it? Oh my word! If that had been any more of a save, he could have opened an account with Barclays.
Gate goes down, last moto of the day hits the track. George Hunt is on the outside. Oh, Beauville comes unclipped. It got busy down the first straight. Marnham leads it. Hunt is right there with him on his back wheel. Marnham, Hunt, 1 and 2. That's Hunt in there in 3, who's picking up the 4 spot, looking like it could be Casey Martley, bringing it on through that 3rd straight. That's Xander Mavawani right in there inside the top 4. Markney in 5. That's Gorman in 6, but it's all about last year's national champ. Jos Marnham takes that moto win. We are done with the motos. Straight into quarterfinals. So if you are not where you're supposed to be, get there immediately. And we are going to get down to the business end of the day for the 2nd time today, as we enter the knockout rounds.
Quarterfinal number 1, Jack Perkins leading into the corner. These are the 13-year-olds looking good. Harry Tyers is in there as well in that 3rd spot. The 52 of Storkis going through in that 2nd position. And the decoy rider, Ralph Sowerby, hanging on to that final qualifying spot. Is anybody going to get near him? Ben's T-Ball Kiss is the closest at the moment, and he might have left himself a little bit too much to do. So Perkins, Storkis going through. Sowerby's going to make it in that 4th spot.
Quarterfinal number 2 hits the track for the 13-year-olds. Ethan Rogers is on the inside for Mabo UK. He's going to pick up the whole shot in this race. There's elbows flying, looking like the 23 plate of Henry Potts out of the Brunty Massive as 3 riders exit right on the 2nd straight. Potts is in a qualifying spot then at the moment, chasing down what looks like Josh Jepson and Ethan Rogers. They're the front 2 riders in this race at the moment. The 573 in there as well. Frankie Griffin, absolute fluent bicycle motocross. He's going to pick up that final qualifying spot as Rogers takes that quarterfinal win.
3rd quarterfinal for the 13-year-olds. Ethan Crooks Martin on the inside, looking good at the moment. Thomas Honeywell, Roland Dells in there as well as they head into the turn. Got a feeling it's Hunter Mallion who's in that final qualifying spot at the minute. He's had it swooped away from him by the 19. That belongs to Gilmore Green from Rusty Nut Racing. So Green in the final quali spot for the semi-final. Crooks Martin looking good. Honeywell, else. It's all down to that final corner. Mallion's going to have a go, can't quite make it stick. He's not given himself enough to catch Gilmore Green. He's going through in 4th.
Quarterfinal number 4 hits the track, 13-year-olds. Here's a go, that's James Miller on the inside, GT Factory. Looking to pick up the whole shot, Max McNulty threads the needle and goes from 5 to 3 in turn number 1. So Team Bunny's in a qualified spot at the moment. He's in there behind the Evolve Collective rider. That's Ethan Howell, Miller, Howell, McNulty, 1, 2, 3, the 43 plate in there as well. That is Riley Butt out of Absolute Bicycle Motocross. He's looking to qualify through at the moment, but he's under pressure from the 20 plate of Charlie Craig. Craig's not going to get close enough, he'll have to go out in 5.
Quarterfinal number 1 for the 14-year-olds. Daniel Colliger made an absolute mess of his start. He's going to have to do it the hard way from the back of the pack. He's gone from 7th to 6th to 5th, but he's got to catch Dexter Beer up, I think, out there in front at the moment of him in that 4th spot. We are looking at Rayford's out in front, Elvis Lawrence in there in 3, Isaac Shaw in the 2nd position, Beerup's in there in 4, Colliger, is he going to have enough in the tank? I don't think he is. His day is done.
Quarterfinal number 6 on track, 14-year-olds action into that first corner. Toby Lynch sorted race gear, leads this one out as smooth as you like so far. Todd Smith-Notman's in there behind him. Here comes the team here, boys. Looking like we've got Newton Hindley and Oscar Jewell in a qualifying spot at the moment. Who's in there in 5? That is the 15 of Ben Millington out of Hot Shot Racing. Got a little bit of work to do if he wants to split up this team here. Party down the final straight. It is going to be Lynch though out front with that quarterfinal win.
Quarterfinal number 7, Cotty on the inside, Guppy's in there with him as well. Birthday boy Freddie Richardson getting in the mix. Oh, diving underneath, that is Freddie Parkinson. Oh, Parkinson and Westmore hitting the deck. Lap over for the Pro Start rider. Let's hope he's all right. That puts Robin Matta and Alonso in there in 4. He was in about 6th or 7th coming out of the turn. It's going to be Guppy, Cottrell, Richardson and Matta and Alonso making the semi. Westmore and Parkinson. If it wasn't for bad luck, Freddie would have no luck at all. Kelly, I will check on him, just hang on. He's all right, Kelly.
Once again, ladies and gents, put your hands together for Freddie Parkinson. Quarterfinal number 8 up on the gates. Here we go, the 14-year-olds final quarterfinal hits the track. Nathaniel Eames is on the inside. Who's going to get the whole shot? Looking like Osborne is leading this one out. Osborne, Hamilton, Eames, 1, 2, 3. The 17 plate of Ronnie Richards is in there in 4. There's one rider in 5 on the outside looking in. I think that could be Harrison Barnes. Got it all to do with the moment. The battle's out front. Osborne going at it with Hamilton. Eames in a qualifying spot. In there in 3 for Evolved Bicycle Motocross. Nathaniel Eames is going to take it through. Ronnie Richards in 4. Quarterfinal at number 9, the 15-year-olds are a go. Heading into that first corner, Amos Guppy leads this one out for Absolute. The 7 plate in there behind him, that is Bradley James. The 26 plate of McSwitty is inside the top 3. Who's in 4 as they go in and out of the corner? Looking like it is LVG bringing it on round. That's Will Chaplin. He's going to take it through to a 15-year-old semi-final at the moment. But Amos Guppy taking it to him. He is your quarterfinal winner.
Quarterfinal number 10. Tidy S in this one, leading it through into All's turn number 1. Emmy Seaward getting involved as well. She's worked her way into a top 3 position. And Nottingham's Logan Widdowson in there in 4. The 22 of Jack Davies in that 2nd position, doing it for Cornwall. Emmy Seaward still looking good at the minute, doing it for Stay Strong, Clark and Kent. Looks like Widdowson's blown a couple of places as they go in and out of the final turn. Who's going to get it as they go down the final straight? Mistake made by the rider. It looks like Green Machine coming through. That's going to be Ollie Kirby.
Quarterfinal number 11 is on track. The 4-plate of Lucas Seeley is on the inside, looking like he's got Oliver James right there with him. James throws in a textbook high-low. Oh, they're banging elbows. Looks like Seeley's just about going to hang it up right. Who's out there on his outside? Gotta be Lucas Osborne. He's worked his way into 3. He's chasing down Seeley for the final turn. The 25-plate is Cooper McCrum. He's in a qualifying spot at the moment, but he's got Eden Boone on his back wheel. McCrum, can he hang on? I think he's going to do. Boone out in 5.
Quarterfinal number 12, Freddie Entwistle on the inside, Birmingham National Race Team. He's got Mason Groves right there with him. He's been pushed up high, lost 2 places in the goal. Oh, it's getting very, very tight as they come down the straight. Tomlinson's worked his way into 3. He's got a battle with Jamira though as they go out of turn number 2. It is Entwistle, Jamira, Tomlinson, Groves. That is your 1, 2, 3 and 4 at the moment as they go in and out of that final turn. Groves, is he going to hang on? He's under pressure from Dunkley. Groves hangs on to it.
The 17 to 18-year-old quarterfinals are a go heading into that first corner. Alfie Holloway's leading this one out. Zach Green, BMX Race Hub repping. He's in there in 3 at the moment. Chasing down the rider in there in 2. That looks like Josh Williams doing it for BMX Widow Photography. Green Machine, BMX Widow, BMX Race Hub. That's your front 3. The 44 plate in there as well. Lamin Akareli's on the bubble at the moment. He's just ahead of Malachi Price, and the 2 Peckham riders going 4 and 5. Price is the lucky guy in 5.
Right, as they head towards the turn, I think I've completely lost where I'm up to, but I'll figure it out as we go along. No, it's fine. 10 plate leading it through, that is Che Young. Dexter Gambay in there as well in that second position. Sam Hamlin, where is Reese Toole? Reese is in there in that 4th spot at the minute, but they're queuing up behind him looking for a way through. Here comes Brandon Mallon looking to get in there as well. He's back in 5, left himself a bit too much to do to get to Reese Toole. Reese is going to make that final qualifying spot.
Penultimate quarterfinal, here's the track. Arne Esselmont is on the inside, stay strong, C&K. Look at the Peckham rider diving underneath in the turn. That is Joshua Simpson Jacobs, and he's worked his way into a qualifying spot. He's now up to 3. 0-1 racing, that's Jack Clogg just being shuffled back to 5. Dan Henry's in there in 4. The 24 plate is looking like Max Burgess qualifying through at the moment. Esselmont, Burgess, Jacobs, Henry. That's your front 4 taking it through to the semis.
Last of the quarterfinals heading down the hill. Here we go with the 17 to 18-year-olds. Hard Knocks Bike Coaching going 1 and 2 into the turn. Rab Racing in there in 3, and the rider in 4. That is the 53 of Sam Muka out of Warsaw BMX. So Gerard, I think it is leading it through. Fawcett in there in that 2nd spot. Elliot Brook in 3. Muka in 4. This one looks like it's going to finish in exactly that order. Hard Knocks are going 1 and 2. Rab Racing in 3. Warsaw BMX in 4. 10 minutes to your semis, people. 10 minutes. I think, Lewis, we need ice cream after these semis. We're going to have to find some. Because my vocal cords are literally not having it right now.
Right, we are just about ready to go semi-final racing, but we've not got enough riders to do so. Let's get some riders in the pens. Our commissaire team are waiting to get to the pub. No, they want to get home. They want to get these semi-finals underway. Des has got a reservation at 8 o'clock. So let's get riders into the pens, please. Semi-finalists, we are ready to go racing. Mr. Whitworth is itching to go. Thanks, Mr. Angry. Notice how there was only 2 people in that whole place that laughed. Come on then, guys, let's get some riders to the pens.
You set my soul on fire. Baby, you set my soul on fire. You set my soul on fire. Baby, you set my soul on fire.
Finals. Here we go then for Block 2, day number 1. The semi-finals are a go. Check these guys out. Miller is on the inside. Who's your race leader though? Ethan Howell, last year's national number 4 out of Evolve Collective. He's out front, looking good. Miller's in there in 2. Who's in 3? Looking like we have got Josh Jepson in the mix. They're all swapping and changing for that top 4 spot. Looking like we've got Potts hanging on at the moment. Here comes Rogers getting busy. The move came from the 4-4-5 down the final straight. Looking like that could be Riley Butts. I think Butts taking it through to the 13-year-old main. Second rack of semi-finals are on track. JP leads it into the turn. This guy has turned on the turbocharge today. JP leads it out for Mavo UK. Roland Ellis is in there behind him. That looks like Ethan Crooks Martin inside the top 3. Who's in 4? Working their way in. That is Thomas Honeywell out of Green Machine, but he's under pressure from the 7 plate of Harry Tyres out of Moto 1. In and out of the final corner for them guys. Looking like we are going to see Honeywell taking it to the 13-year-old final. Next up, first semi for the 14-year-old is a go. The European number 2, Kobe Rayford leads this one out. That looks like Little Cotty in there behind him on the W7 plate. The 6 is in there as well. That's got to be Ethan Shaw heading into turn. Isaac Shaw, sorry, turning it. In and out of that second corner, Toby Lynch is in there in 4. Robin Matten Alonso and Elvis Lawrence are chasing them down. In and out of the final corner, it's all about Rayford taking it down to the line. Cotty, Shaw, Lynch. Second rack of the 14-year-old semi-finals are on track. Looking like we have got chaos in turn number 1. Todd Smith-Norman says thank you very much. He goes into a top 4 spot. Osborne leads it out. Who's in there behind him? That is got to be the 16. Bringing it on through. Newton Hindley out of team here. Osborne, Hindley, Hamilton, Notman. That's your front 4 taking it through to the 14-year-old final. Put your hands together for Ronnie Richards, ladies and gents. He's finishing his lap. We're just going to check over Oscar Jewell and Ned Guppy. Put your hands together, ladies and gents. Oscar Jewell is up to his feet, and so is Ned Guppy. Both riders going to walk away. Always, always good to see. We're going to look to get things kicked off again with the 15-year-old semi-final number 5. Semi-final number 5 hits the track. Tidy S is on the inside. He's come out of lane number 1 and he wants the whole shot, but right there with him is Amos Guppy, DS. That's your 1 and 2. The 7 plate of Bradley James is in there in 3. Who's in 4? Looking like we have got Lucas Osborne doing it for Birmingham NRT. The front 4 riders creating a little bit of a gap. So it is all about Guppy out front. He's on an absolute charge today. Going to take this semi-final win. Tidy S, Bradley James, Lucas Osborne all through to the 15-year-old final. Second rack of the 15-year-old semis are a go. Looking like Oliver James has been shot out of the cannon into turn number 1. It's getting busy. Oh, look at Elijah Jamira. Jamira's, he's come unclipped. Jamira went from 8 to 3 in turn number 1. Blew a clip down the straight. James looking like he's leading it from Seeley. That's got to be Osborne and Whistle in there in 3. Who's in 4? That's Harvey Tomlinson down the final straight. Wow, oh, wow. Next semi-final out on track, looking like it is Kai Bowen, your world number 5. Stay strong, C&K leading this one out. Who's in there with him? Got to be the 17 plate picking it on up. That is Kai Blaine. Here comes Noah Everly. He's in there in 3. Looking for a way round Blaine as he head down the 3rd straight. That's got to be Ollie Coppin in there in 4. Caden Dunn is in 5. Last turn action, in and out they go. Bowen, he's your race winner. Who's going to be in there with him? Looking like Blaine, Hamilton, Coppin on the line. Semi-final number 8 is on track. Who's that on the inside? Got to be Eli Smith. Slides out in turn number 1. Nathan Barata picks up the lead. So it is Barata out there in 1. The 16 plate in there with him. That is Samson Townsend being chased down by John O'Harradine. Here comes Sean Brown in there in 4. There's riders queuing up behind him though as they head down the final straight. Brown's going to take it through with Harradine. Townsend, Barata. Put your hands together, ladies and gents, for Eli Smith.
Okay, riders, ready to start. Riders, ready, 1, 3.
16-year-old girls are on track. Their semi-finals are a go in race number 9. That has got to be Ruby Moores leading this one out. Check out Amelia Everly though, looking for a high-low in turn number 1 as she's made his stick. So it is Mabo UK out front. Moores is in there in that 2 spot. Anya Matan Alonso in 3. Who's picking up the 4? Looking like it is the 15 of Betty Brewer. Out of decoy heading down the 3rd straight. It's all about Everly though. Your European number 5 out front looking good. Everly, Moores, Alonso, Brewer, that's your top 4 taking it through. Second 16-year-old girl semi-final heading for that first corner. Who's that on the inside? Got to be jumping Jess Marriott, your world number 4 out of Peterborough. She's being chased down by Lottie Etmane. So it is Marriott and Etmane at the moment. Who's that in there in 3? Got to be Sophie Elwood. Etmane looked up the inside, didn't dive under, so she's created a bit of a gap now. Has Marriott. Who's in there in 4? The 9 plate as they come on down. Alexis McCartney on the bubble at the moment, but she's under all sorts of pressure from BB Alderton. Alderton looking for a late charge down to the line. Alderton looking like she might nick it. Who got the 4th spot? It was BB Alderton. McCartney out in 5. 17 to 18-year-olds are on track. That is George Gerard leading it out, heading into that second corner. Jaden Fawcett in there behind him. In and out of turn number 2. That's the 5 of Alfie Holloway heading on through towards the final turn. So it is all about hard knocks at the moment, going 1 and 2. Who's that in there in 4? Going to be the 24 plate bringing it home. Max Burgess through to the A final. Second rack of the 17 to 18-year-old semis are on track. Arne Esselmont on the inside. Oh, moves are being made. Look at that from the 10 plate. Che Young, he's worked his way into that 2 spot. Who's been shuffled back? Looking like Dexter Gambe is now in there in about 4 at the moment. Got a bit of work to do to catch the guys in front of him. The 13 plate in there in 3. That's Sam Hamling. So it is Esselmont out front. Esselmont, Young, Hamling, Gambe, 1, 2, 3 and 4. The 19 to 29-year-old semi-finals are looking stacked into 10. Number 1, Copes on the inside. The Stay Strong boys are throwing elbows, and it looks like it is the 7 of Seawood that's come out on top. In that third spot, Finn Clark leads it from Ollie Cope. That's your front 2 riders. Looking good for Seawood in there in 3. Callum Chard Maple has threaded some needles. Oh! Alfie Baxter's bike blew up underneath him. He's ended up in a huge, huge heap. Put your hands together for Alfie Baxter, ladies and gents. He's up to his feet. Second rack of 19 to 29-year-old semi-finals up on the gate. Once again, ladies and gents, put your hands together for Alfie as he walks away.
Okay, riders, right up start. Riders, ready, 1, 2, 3.
Semi-final number 14 hits the track, and this one is looking busy, heading for the 10. Radshaw's on the outside of Savage. Savage leads it. Radshaw's right there glued to his back wheel. Who's here in 3? That's Ruben Smith heading on through. A couple of carnages have happened through the straight. Ruben Smith looks up the inside of Bradshaw. Who's that in there in 4? Looking like the 13 plate of Seb Hamling into the final turn. It is Savage, Bradshaw. That's your front 2, comfortable and safe. Smith's going to take 3. Hamling in 4. Dan Kate just about manages to stay upright. Goes across the line in 5. As junior men line up on the gate for their semi-finals. Penultimate semi-final of the day. Byrne and Clitheroe are banging elbows down the hill. That's Hoff on the inside. Who's going to get the whole shot? Finn Hoff leads it out. Ruben Byrne's in there behind him. James Clitheroe's in there in 3. The 157 is in there in 4. That is Lucas Webster. But he's under all sorts of pressure from Louis Tay Edwards as he enters the 3rd straight. Hoff, Byrne, Clitheroe. The front 3 are looking safe and clear from the rest of the pack. Webster's created a bit of a gap between him and Edwards as well down the final straight. Webster, Clitheroe, Byrne, Hoff, all through to the junior men final. Last semi-final of the day, here's the track. Jump Club S&M Saucer on the inside. 2 riders looking to get involved. JTL Simpson Davies throws it under, works his way into 3. Look at the battle out front. That looks like it could be Cody Coker chasing down Kendall. Kendall, Coker, Davies. That's your 1, 2, 3. Copeland's in there in 4. Henry is in 5. Looking for a way round Copeland into the final turn. In and out they go down the last straight. Who's going to get it? Kendall, Coker, Davies 1, 2, 3. Curtis Copeland rounds out the top 4. Now that's what you call BMX racing, ladies and gents. We are going final racing in 10 minutes time. Please make sure you are in the pens ready and waiting. We are going final racing in 10 minutes time, guys. I've got my race sheets for the finals. So that means we should start getting some finalists in the pens very, very shortly. We're going to run it in a all B final format, then the A finals to finish off the day. So if you are in the B finals, you should probably be in the pens already, please.
Right, B-final for the 13-year-olds, Tyres, McNulty, Storkis, Rogers, Griffin, Green, Salby and Potts heading into the turn. Ethan Rogers picking up the whole shot. Frankie Griffin in there in 3. Rider in 2 is Kurt Storkis. 7, that is Tyres, he's in there in 4. And McNulty's getting involved as well in about 5. Henry Potts trying to make some moves in that turn as they head towards the final corner. It is Rogers, Storkis, Griffin, 1, 2 and 3. Is McNulty going to pick his way into the top 4? Maybe he will.
Final number 2 hits the track. This is the 14-year-old B final heading into the turn. Elvis Lawrence has had a corker at the start and he's going to lead it in and out of the corner. Robin Martin Alonso is in there behind him. Freddie Richardson has worked his way into a top 4 spot. Here comes Nathaniel Eames. He's on a charge. Worked his way up to 5. He's in there behind Ronnie Richardson, Freddie Richardson. So it is all about Lawrence and Alonso at the moment. Who is crew repping out front with Lawrence? He's going to pick up this B final win down the final straight. Lawrence, Alonso, Richards, Richardson, Eames, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. "15-year-old boys B final is on track. That's got to be Mason Groves. Assaulted race gear leading this one through. Elijah Jamira after he almost pulled off the move of the year. And we're only at round 1. He's in there in that 2 spots. Got unlucky through the second straight, but he's having a flyer at the moment for Rab Racing. Got Green Machine in there behind him. That is Ollie Kirby. Oh, Jamira slides out in the final turn. Let's hope that he's okay. He's just checking himself. He's all right. He's straight back up to his feet. Put your hands together for Elijah Jamira, ladies and gents. His luck will come one day. Final number 5 hits the track. 16-year-old girls B final heading towards turn number 1. Alexis McCartney on the inside. Allen's Factory Supercross. She's going to take the whole shot across the line. Who's in there with her? Ice Bikes Factory team. Imogen Cockerell on the template. That's Hot Shot in the mix as well. Isla Radcliffe on the 14. That's your front 3 as they go in and out of turn number 2. Retro Racing, Smiley Maloney in there in 4 on the 20 plate. Here comes the battle out front though. Cockerell looking for a way round McCartney out of that final corner. McCartney, Cockerell, who's going to get this win down to the line? I think Cockerell might have just nicked it. Oh, Ryder over the gate in the 17 to 18 year olds. No, it's not. Right, we've gone back to final number 4. No, we haven't. This is the 17 to 18 year olds, Elliot Brook. He's out front. The 44 plate in there in 2, that is Laminaka Rayleigh. The 11 plate in 3, Josh Williams, BMX Widow Photography. Put your hands together for the 26 plate of Joshua Simpson Jacobs. He's up and finishing his lap. Final number 7, the 19 to 29 year old B final hits the track. Dan Kay in this one on the inside into the turn. Eddie the Hitman Cannons is on the inside. He's making moves and he's making them stick. Ned Penny's getting busy. He's in the middle of the pack. In there in 3 at the moment. Keanu Chauffeur Cohen. He's right there behind him, having moves put on him himself, but he's managed to fend them off as of yet. Cannons, Kay, Penny in that order, in and out of the final corner. Here comes Dan Kay, Mabo UK. Has he got enough left in the tank? Looking like Cannons might just hang on to it. As we take a look at the Grand Vets B final. On track. Christos Chalkos, Pure Bicycle Company leading this one out. He's got the 9 plate in there behind him. That is Dominic Elliott out of Brixton BMX Club. Chalkos, Elliott, that looks like David Knowles in there in 3, the 22 plate in 4, John Perkins out of Brixton, in and out of that final corner, looking like Chalkos is going to take this B final win for Pure Bicycles. Final four. We are going back to final number 4. This is your 16-year-old boys B final lining up on the gate.
Okay, riders, right up start. Riders, red, 1, 3.
16-year-old B final hits the track, looking like we have got Eli Smith on the outside, having a whole shot into turn number 1. Rab Racing Smith leads this one out then after he slid out in his semi-final, but he's on fire in this B final. Caden Dunn in there in 2, who's that picking up 3? Got to be Henry Rayner out of the Evolve Collective, bringing it on through that third straight. The 149 in there as well. Malachi O'Reilly in and out of that final corner. Rab Racing, that is going to be Eli Smith taking the B final win right the way across the stripe. As we move on to the A finals. "13-year-old boys are lining up on the gate. We've got Riley Butts, Thomas Honeywell, Ethan Crooks Martin, Roland Els, Josh Jepson, Jack Perkins, James Miller and Ethan Howell.
Okay, riders, right up start. Riders, red, 1, 3.
We are A final racing, ladies and gents. The 13-year-old boys are a go. And look at JP's in the middle of the pack, but Miller leads it in the turn. Who's out front? It is Miller, Perkins, Howell. That's your front 3 at the moment. Roland Els is up to about 4. Who's on the outside? Looking like Ethan Crooks Martin. He's getting busy in turn number 2. Elbows are flying. Els is hanging on to a top 4. But GT Factories, James Miller has checked out from the rest of the pack. JP's in there in 2. Miller, Perkins, Howell. That's your 1, 2, 3 and the 13-year-olds. 13-year-old girls are lining up on the gate. We've got Molly Fumi Carroll, Naya O'Connell, Martha Cottam, Dakota Tucker, Holly Diver, Esme Ward, Ruby Warren and Emma Kiss.
Okay, riders, right up start. Riders, red, 1, 3.
Final number 10 hits the track. The 13-year-old girls are a go. Looking like we've got the 3-plate of Emma Kiss on the inside. She's been on fire all day long. In and out of that first corner, it is Kiss leading it from the 5 of Ward. That's the 2-plate of Ruby Warren. In there in 3. Where is Naya O'Connell? She's in about 7 at the moment. That looks like it could be the Titans rider. Holly Diver, she's on the 11-plate. In there in 4, just having moves made on her. In and out of that final corner, that's Martha Cottam working her way up to 4, but it's going to be Kiss, Ward, Warren. That's your 1, 2, 3.
Right, 14-year-old final up next. Todd Smith, Notman, Nate Hamilton, Newton Hindley, Toby Lynch, Heath Osborne, Isaac Shaw, James Cottrell and Kobe Rayford.
Okay, riders, right up start. Riders, red, 1, 3.
14's our goal. This is an absolutely massive age group and it's full of fast riders. Rayford into the turn, Osborne in there in 2, Toby Lynch in 3, Cotty's in there in 4, Shaw in 5, that looks like Hamilton in there in 6, Smith Notman in 7, Newton Hindley styling it away in 8, he knows his lap is done, but it is Kobe Rayford in and out the final corner. Rayford, Osborne, Lynch, that is going to be your 1, 2, 3, Cotty for the 4, Shaw for the 5, Hamilton for the 6, Todd Smith Notman for 7, Newton Hindley in 8. 14-year-old girls up next. Maddie the Baddy Dixon, Jalaya Patel, Libby Coppin, Rin Serafina Gianolino, Sidoni Cleve, Isabella Rowe, Emily Eaton and Katie Millar.
Okay, riders, right up start. Riders, red, 1, 3.
Right, here we go, 14-year-old girls heading down the hill. Katie Millar on the inside, battling away with Rin Serafina Giannolino, who just gives up the lead that little bit. Oh, diving underneath, salted race gear, heading down that straight. That is Bella Rowe. She's worked her way into two. It's all getting mixed up behind as well. Emily Eaton trying to get involved for Pro Start, but it's Katie Millar into the final corner, leading it out. Bella Rowe, she might just have left herself a little bit too much to do. Miller, Rowe, Giannolino, that is your 1, 2, 3. Taking it to the line, Sidoni Cleve for the 4, Emily Eaton for 5.
15-year-old boys, 8th final up on the gate. We've got Harvey Tomlinson, Lucas Osborne, Freddie Entwistle, Bradley James, Lucas Seeley, Ty DS, Oliver James and Amos Guppy. The 15-year-old boys are a go. Ty DS has had a blinding gate out of the middle, but it's all about Guppy heading. Oh, James hits the deck and ends up in a huge, huge heave. Ty DS is up to about 3 at the moment, just in front of Lucas Seeley. Harvey Tomlinson is getting busy trying to go round the outside, but it's Guppy having a flyer out front. Guppy, James, DS, that's your front 3. Got to be Seeley in there in 4, but Amos Guppy, no one could catch him. That kid is on fire. Oliver James. Down in the first turn. We're just going to make sure that he's all right. He's back up to his feet. Put your hands together for Oliver, ladies and gents. As we look up to the start gate for the 15-year-old girls, we've got Eliza French, Ruby Walford, Orla Cooper, Lucy Gardner, Summer Glynn, Ailey Watson, Lottie Brown, and Grace Burge. "15-year-old girls hit the track. Ailey Watson has left them heading for turn number 1. It is all about BMX Widow Photography. Watson leads it out. Here comes the E4. Lottie can't stop. Won't stop. Brown looking for a way to that top spot. In and out of turn 2. Brown throws it a high-low. Straight out of the textbook, page 62. She now leads this final. So it is Brown, Watson, Burge. That's your front 3. Burge isn't done yet either. Down to the wire. Lottie Brown takes the win. Ailey Watson for 2. Grace Burge in 3.
Right, 16-year-old boys up next. We have got John O'Harady, Sean Brown, Samson Townsend, Nathan Baratta, Ollie Copping even, Noah Everly, Kai Blaine and Kai Bowen. '16s that'll go. This is going to be an absolute banger. John O'Harady didn't get the start that he wanted. Kai Bowen did, and they're heading into the turns 1 and 2. Noah Everly in there in that second spot. Baratta and Blaine battling for 3 and 4 at the minute. Ollie Copping in there in 5 as they go in and out of turn number 2. Stay strong, Clark and Kent. Into the final turn. I think this is a whole shot award one as well. We've totally forgotten about that. Kai Bowen, Noah Everly, Kai Blaine, Nathan Baratta. '16 girls up next. BB Alderson, Betty Brewer, Anya Mattern Alonso, Sophie Elwood, Lottie Etmane, Ruby Moores, Amelia Everly, and jumping at Jess Marriott's. Oh, 16-year-old girls. Let's have a look who's going to be the first to rise. Ruby Moores and Jess Marriott into the turn, elbow to elbow. Getting involved, we've got BB Alderson in there as well. But it is Jess Marriott now Who's in there for Mapo? It's Amelia Everly. Worked away into 2. Ruby Morsey's in there in 3. Lottiette Mane in 4. Jumping Jess Marriott in and out that final turn. The W4 picked up that plate in Rock Hill, South Carolina. She's going to take a national win. Everly for 2. Morse for 3.
17 to 18-year-olds up on the gate. We've got Dexter Gambe, Sam Hamling, Max Burgess, Shay Young, Alfie Holloway, Jaden Fawcett, Arne Esselmont and George Gerard. The gate goes down, the 17 to 18-year-olds on let go. George Gerard has had a blinding gate. He's going to pick up the whole shot into turn number 1. Gerard leads it for the Hard Knocks crew. Who's in there with him? Shay Young is having an absolute blinder as well. Up to that 2 spot, it's Arne Esselmont in 3. Who's in 4? Looking like we have gone. Alfie Holloway doing it for Green Machine. Last turn action then. Gerard running away with it. He wants to retain that 1 plate on the front of his bike. Oh, he's under pressure from Young. Gerard hangs on. Young for 2. Arne Esselmont rounds out the podium. 17 to 18-year-old women on the gate. We've got Lexi Arthurs, Annabelle Charlton, Ella Lamb, Lacey Beard, Fumi Adarami Hepburn, Yetska Hemstock, Megan Gerard and Mika Pritchard. Final 18 hits the track. The 17 to 18-year-old girls heading for the turn. Megan Gerard is on the inside. Here comes Mika Pritchard right round the outside of her. Pritchard leads it out then. It is Gerard into the 20 plate in 3. That's Yetska Hemstock doing it for Ice Bikes Factory Team. Who is in 4? Fumi Adarami working her way round the outside of the Retro Rider. So it is all about DC Cycles at the moment. And Mika Pritchard, but she's under a bucket load of pressure from Megan Gerard. Down to the wire, who's going to get it? That one was close. Megan Gerard nicked it on the line. Look how close that is. 2/100ths of a second.
Boosh. Right, where are we up to? 19 to 29 open. Sebastian Hambling, Callum Chard Maple, Ruben Smith, Jaden Seaward, Tyrese Bradshaw, Ollie Cope, Finley Clark and Brinley Savage. (19 to 29), the final. This one's going to be absolutely massive. Brinley Savage, Tyrese Bradshaw into the corner. Who's going to pick up the whole shot? Brinley from Tyrese, but only just. Let's have a look. Getting involved. Ruben Smith's in there as well. Here comes Callum Chard Maple down the inside. Jaden Seaward's making moves as well. This one's absolutely all over the place as they come to the final turn. Savage, Bradshaw. Bradshaw's on the back of Savage. Can't quite make it stick. Callum Chard Maple for 3. Jaden Seaward, Ruben Smith. What a lap. 19 to 29 female. Emily Clinch, Morgan Haslam, Ellie Featherston, Hannah Drew, Remy Godfrey, Annabelle Townsend, Caitlin Ellis and Evie Webster. (19 to 29) girls are go. Evie Webster got a great start, as did Ellie Featherston as they head towards turn number 1. And Caitlin Ellis is in there inside the top 3. Oh! Caitlin hits the deck, slides out in the corner. Her lap is done. Hannah Drew in there in 3 of the minute, being pursued by the rider on the 14 plate. That is Annabelle Townsend. Meanwhile, in and out the final turn, Evie Webster, Ellie Featherston. Ellie's on the back of Evie. Who's going to get into the line? Evie just from Ellie. Too many E's.
Masters are up on the gate. We've got David James, Matt Bourne, Ben Martinez, George Higley, Billy Irwin, Adam Brazil, Neil Brunez and Billy Luckhurst. The Masters are a go. Brazil's had a blinding gate. Lucas is on the inside. Brunez has been boxed off and drops back to about fourth. He looks on the inside in the turn. Brazil, Lucas, Brunez, Martinez, Irwin. That is your front five. Here comes Higley's up to six, but the battle is out front. Adam Brazil leads it out. Has Lucas got enough speed down the third straight to make a move in the final turn? Brazil, Lucas in that order. Here comes Brunez looking for a late charge. Brazil, Lucas, Brunez in that order. 30 plus women on the gate for the fourth moto of the day. We have got Claire Albert, Fawn Clements, Annie Chisua, Anita Wong, Manda Hemstock and Rebecca Gall. Final 22, the 30 plus women are a go. Rebecca Gall has worked her way across. She wants another whole shot to add to her collection today. Aboard the 20-inch, Gall leads it, your national champ from last year. Manda Hemstock was getting busy down the first straight, but she shuffled back to three as DC cycles. Anita Wong has worked her way into two. So it's Gall, Wong, Hemstock, that's your front three. Fawn Clements has worked her way into four. That's Annie Chisua in there in five, doing it for Team Buddies with Claire Albert in six. Rebecca Gall wraps up another national win.
Next, so Grand Veterans, we've got Zoltan Bude, Grant Yerbury, Dylan Dixon, Simon Homans, Danny Taylor, Fraser Watson, Matt Barnard and Scott Beaumont. Right, here we go with the veterans heading down the hill. Boom, boom, Beaumont on the inside. Danny T getting involved as well. Simon Homans right in the middle of the pack. Here comes Matt Barnard as well, working his way into a top three. Oh, Simon exits the wrong side. That's his lap over with as they head in and out of turn number two. Beaumont in control in this one. We've got Fraser Watson working his way in and Zoltan Bude as well. Yerbury's pushing in about six. But it's all about Scott Beaumont taking it to the line. Boom Boom takes the win. Danny T just about for two. Matt Barnard for three.
Grand Vets up on the gate for their A final. We've got Jules Allen, Brett Knight, Steve Fortune, Craig Nelson, Fitzroy Bryce, Martin Oggy Ogden, Brett Archibald and Alan Hill. The gate goes down and the Grand Vets are a go. The European champion is coming out of lane number one. And then it's going to be Hilly leading this one out. Pure Bicycles, Hill out in front, Oggy's in there in two, who's in three, looking like it could be Archibald. It's getting busy into the turn, there's elbows flying. Fitzroy Bryce is up to four. Jules Allen, Timmy Turnbar scrapping it out with Craig Nelly Nelson, heading down the third straight, but Alan Hill 2 for 2 for the day in his 43rd year of national racing. That's one way to start off the season.
Right, three finals left. First one up, the Junior Open. Lucas Webster, Curtis Copeland, James Clitheroe, JTL Simpson Davis, Cody Coker, Reuben Byrne, Ollie Kendall, and Finley Hoff. Junior openings go. Ollie Kendall on the inside, James Clitheroe on the outside. Clitheroe makes his move across the turn number one. He's got Reuben Byrne right there with him. Byrne pushes him high, so it's Byrne, Clitheroe. All the elbows are already locking. Two riders off the track as they go into that second turn. It's between Byrne and Clitheroe. Clitheroe's winding it up down the straight, making his move now. James Clitheroe taking the lead into the final corner. That new tyre purchase paid off. He's going to take it to the line. Clitheroe and Hoff. Oh, Clitheroe, Hoff, Byrne, Coker. What a lap. I don't know how much Jim Clitheroe spent on that tyre, but it was worth it.
Penultimate final of the day. Championship women lining up on the gate out of Birmingham NRT, Laurie and Carruthers. Moto 1 race team have got Megan Roy. Out of Pure Bikes, Elizabeth Bown. Moto 1 again, Tia Gaynor. Out of B Strong Race Team, Bella May. Crucial BMX have got Sienna Harvey. B Strong again, Emily Hort. And riding out of Absolute Bicycle Motocross, Freya the Slayer Chalice. Final 26 to go. Championship women hit the track. It's going to be the Slayer heading into the turn. Emily Hoy's glued to her back wheel. 2 riders hit the deck. Chalice, Hort, 1 and 2. Bellamy squeezing up the inside of Sienna Harvey into that second corner. It's all about Chalice at the moment though. For Mabo and Absolute running away with it. Heading into the final corner. Hort doing all she can to close the gap out of that last turn. Chalice, Hort, that's your 1-2. Bellamy's in there for 3. Sienna Harvey in 4. Put your hands together for Laurie and Carruthers and Tia Gaynor, ladies and gents. The final of round number 1 of the 2025 Lloyds National BMX Series is up on the gates. Riding out of Pure Bicycles, Harrison Bell. For Pro Star BMX, Gabe Simpson. Out of GT Factory, Harry Tanner. Ice Bikes have got George Hunt. Out of Birmingham BMX Club, Bradley Russell. Out of Crucial Racing, Taylor Hunt. Out of Birmingham and for Schwaber Tyres, Joss Narnham. And doing it for B Strong Race Team on the 22, Ross the Boss Cullen. Gate goes down, Superclass men hit the track. The Boss has had an absolute blinder once again today. Marnham's on the inside. Cullen, Marnham, that's your 1 and 2. Harry Tanner's up there in 3. That looks like Hunt in 4. Who's coming through in 5? That's George Hunt working his way in. But it's all about Ross Cullen at the moment. As smooth as you like, showing us just what he could do after his successful weekend. Last weekend in Verona, Ross Cullen picks up the first national win of the year. Joss Marnham, Harry Tanner are 2 and 3. That's your Superclass men podium, ladies and gentlemen. There will be a presentation in the foyer, I believe. Oh, no, presentation at the bottom of the hill. ASAP after racing. Wherever you are traveling this evening, please stay safe. We'll see you back here tomorrow bright and early.